Thus, the reforms we sought to achieve never materialized, and the anti-hazing advocacy faded once more into obscurity. Mr. Chair, fellow senators, it is high time to revisit this legislation and make sure that the reforms necessary to protect our children from barbaric acts of hazing are finally passed into law. Certainly, it was admirable for Congress to pass the original anti-hazing law back in 1995. However, according to the updated data graciously furnished by the Case Monitoring Division of the Philippine National Police Directorate for Investigation and Detective Management, through the initiative of Director Augusto Marquez, it is evident that there is much room for improvement in the law that has penalized hazing over the past 22 years. The updated data shows that between January of 2002 to September of 2017, there were 117 reported hazing incidents involving 419 suspects. Only 15 of these suspects have been convicted, resulting in a measly conviction rate of 3.6%. No less than the Supreme Court itself has urged its coordinate branch of government, the legislature, to pass reforms in the law. In Dungo versus People, the 2015 case that affirmed with finality the conviction of two men who participated in hazing death of UPLB student Marlon Villanueva in 2006. The court said that the law is far from perfect and proposed several amendments, including the imposition of penalties for non-compliance with requirements for filing written notice with the school and having school representatives present at the initiation, as well as taking into account the psychological harm to victims in penalizing hazing. Meanwhile, in Villarreal versus People, the court also suggested for intoxication and presence of non-resident members to be considered aggravating circumstance, learning from lessons taught by the hazing death of Lenny Villa way back in 1991. To address these issues and other needed reforms in the law, I filed Senate Bill number 199, or the Anti-Hazing Law of 2016, as one of my priority bills at the start of the 17th Congress. Honestly, I did not expect the bill to get much attention this time around. Unfortunately, another innocent young person has lost his life to false promises of brotherhood, and once again, the Filipino nation is clamoring for swift justice and sweeping reforms. As representatives of the people, we must answer this clamor with decisive legal action. In closing, I would like to extend my sincerest condolences to the family and loved ones of Horacio Castillo. By all accounts, Horacio was an exceptionally kind young man who pursued his dream of becoming a lawyer with passion of diligence. Unfortunately, this promising young life was cut short before he could even finish his first semester of law school. He will never have the opportunity to proudly show his parents his final exam scores in constitutional law or persons and family relations. He will never graduate from law school or take the bar. He will never take the lawyer's oath or sign his name on the roll of attorneys. These dreams are forever gone, buried beneath the soil alongside Hocio's bruised and blackened body. Perhaps in death, Horacio may still make a groundbreaking impact on the law after. As Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. once said, the life of the law has not been logic, it has been experience. It is my sincere hope that the crushing tragedy experienced by Horacio and his family will spark real change, serving as the catalyst for the passage of legal reforms that will stamp out the sick evil of hazing once and for all. Hocio's legacy to the law will endure if we can ensure that his death will truly be the last. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Before I recognize Senator Subiri, the Chair acknowledges the presence of Senator Risa Ontiveros. Good evening, ma'am. And before that, I'd like to inform the body that another member of IG's Juris Fraternity, in the person of Mr. Jason Adolfo Rubinos, is present. He reported to my office earlier this afternoon around 5 o'clock. So may we call Mr. Jason Adolfo Robinos. Please occupy your seat here. He's also accompanied by his lawyer. So Senator Subiri is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, no one, I repeat, no one deserves to die from hazing, from a brutal and senseless death. We have a law, Republic Act 8049, or an act regulating hazing and other forms of initiation rights in fraternities and sororities and other organizations. Unfortunately, since its enactment into law in 1995, with dozens of reported deaths due to hazing, only one conviction has been decided by the court. Only one. Other accounts place that there could be more than 100 deaths due to hazing, but the rest are not reported or do not reach the courts. So much senseless death. My dearest colleagues, so much wasted youth. The bright future of these students suddenly gone, as was the case of Horacio Castillo. When will these barbaric acts of so-called brotherhood stop? You're supposed to welcome new members and protect them, and not protect them like family, and not hurt them or kill them. No wonder the culture of violence never ends in our country, as those who swear an oath to defend our laws are the same ones who commit the violence. This must stop. No parent should bury their children from such senseless deaths, deaths from violence and crime. It's about time that we prohibit hazing. We need to pass a new law that will not only regulate hazing, but ban it outright. Brotherhood or sisterhood should not be realized at the expense of the lives and future of our youth. We should put a stop to this senseless death. We should put a stop to hazing once and for all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Subiri. Committee Secretary, kindly administer the oath to the resource persons present.
Kindly stand up. And please raise your right hand.
Lahat ka mo, everybody.
May I request everyone to please stand?
Except Senator Lina. Kindly rise and raise your right hand. Everybody, please.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this Senate investigation? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. For an orderly proceeding, we'll allow the senators to ask their questions in the order of their arrival. First to arrive, Senator Grace Poe, followed by Senator Subiri, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Villanueva, Senator Drilon, Senator Ejercito, Senator Aquino, Senator Soto, and Senator Ontiveros, in that order. So, Senator Poe, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair,
You have 10 minutes to ask your questions.
ipapaubaya ko muna ang aking oras kay Senator Joel Villanueva na hindi mabuti ang pakiramdam ngayon at kailangan pumunta sa ospital.
With the permission of Senators Subiri, Gatchalian, and Senator Subiri and Senator Gatchalian. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Grace. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening to our resource persons. Let me start by sympathizing and condoling with the family of Acho. Nakikiramay po kami. Alam namin na hindi na natin kayang ibalik ang buhay ni Acho, pero gusto ho nating matigil na ito at hindi masayang ang pagkawala ng buhay ni Acho. I will first ask my question to Dean Divina, sir. As a fellow alumnus of the University of Santo Tomas, I hold you in the highest esteem as the Dean of the Faculty of Civil Law. Unfortunately, Acho died on your watch. According po dun sa interview po ninyo, and I've seen a lot of articles, For example, in Rappler, you gave a statement that you had taken a leave of absence since you assumed deanship 8 years ago. This meant that, I don't know what it really means. It probably means you're not attending their functions or became part of their official activities. Just for the record lang po, ano ba yung process of being in a leave of absence on the part of an alumnus of the fraternity? Sir.
Before you respond, you manifested earlier that you want to make a preliminary statement.
Yes, Mr.
So
Chairman.
the chair would allow you to
Thank you, Mr.
make
Chairman.
your statement.
Mr. Chairman, Your Honors, good evening. May it please the committee. It pains me that I appear before you today because one of our students in the UST Faculty of Civil Law died in what appears as a hazing activity of the Aegis Juris Fraternity, one of the fraternities in the faculty. 8 years ago, one of the first things I did when I assumed the deanship was to take a leave of absence from the fraternity. I was a member, but not a founder, as widely reported. I joined in 1986, while the fraternity was founded in 1979. As dean, I had grand plans of improving further the quality of education, part of which is student discipline. I knew that if I were to lead, I could not do so under a cloud of bias in favor of a particular group or organization. I had to unmistakably signify that I was severing ties, albeit temporarily, with the fraternity, so I can discharge my functions impartially. My taking a leave was not just symbolic. From that day on, I purposely refrained from participating in any frat-related activity. There was just an instance years ago when our law firm's basketball team had a friendly match against the fraternity, but I played as part of the Divina Law team, not of Aegis. Since the death of Mark Welson Chua, a student of UST in 2001 due to a hazing incident in the ROTC, UST has been very aggressively campaigning against any form of hazing. This was reflected in its policies, in the revisions to the student manual, and strictly worded undertaking that all organizations are required to sign as a precondition for the yearly application. In addition to that, the Faculty of Civil Law, the head of the Student Welfare Development Board, tackles in detail the policies against hazing and campus violence during the yearly orientation of new students. This is not to say there have been no untoward incidents involving fraternities during my stint, but in those cases we acted decisively. It has been our SOP to immediately impose preventive suspension pursuant to Section 106 of the Manual of Regulations for Private Higher Education, and as a precautionary measure against any interference in the conduct of the investigation. Violence causes extreme anxiety among students in campus, and there's a great tendency that the presence of responsible persons may have an intimidating effect on potential informants or witnesses. During my entire stint, a significant number of fraternity members have been suspended preventively. Appropriate penalties were also imposed on responsible members in 2 cases of frat-related violence. I have likewise not hesitated to debar or drop from the rolls frat members regardless of affiliation for other reasons, such as non-compliance with academic requirements. Some of these debarred members of Aegis were in fact among the names floated as possibly involved in the death of Acho. I first found out about the supposed student's death sometime in the afternoon of Sunday. The faculty secretary told me that reports had reached him of a student dying during a supposed fraternity activity. My immediate instruction was to confirm the report and get as much detail since the faculty secretary himself had no personal knowledge. That was Sunday. The next morning, the death of Acho was already in the news. I was shocked but tried to get in touch with Acho's parents through a relative who was my former student. I spoke to his grieving mom, who at that time, understandably, was very emotionally distressed. She told me to help them get justice for their son. I gave her my word that I would. That same day, I convened immediately the faculty council, as well as Student Welfare Development Board, which conducts admin investigation involving students. I placed the Aegis members under preventive suspension, as has been our SOP in keeping with Section 106 of the MORFE. The Father Rector created an independent body to investigate the incident, considering the gravity of the offense and to guard against any impression of partiality. On Tuesday, the names and contact details of Aegis members had been submitted to the police. On Wednesday, the independent committee directed the file lifting of the preventive suspension. The police had already begun their own investigation, and we deem it best to let the authorities proceed as they saw fit, with the fullest cooperation on our part. That same day, I went to the wake of Acho, along with other UST officials, and again vowed to his living parents that I would do everything in my power to help bring those responsible to justice. Since finding out what happened, I had made a plea for those involved to come out and assist in the investigation. One of them heeded my call, John Paul Solano, who is now in the custody of MPD. To the rest, I reiterate my call for them to surface and shed light on what happened. This is a time for them to show courage and adherence to the law. Act like lawyers they had hoped to be, and not like criminals who hide in the dark and cower in fear. There's nothing shameful in owning up to one's mistake. I know that this is just the start of a long process of attaining justice. We need more participants to come out to shed light on the facts, and it's my hope that John Paul's brave example will be followed by the rest. Like I have told the UST community, we should let our grief be at the same time our wake-up call. We're not going to allow the death of Acho to be in vain. Those responsible will be meted the appropriate penalties. More importantly, however, another review of our policies pertaining to fraud and their activities will be made. Even as we mourn the loss of a precious life, we intend to make full use of the lessons this unfortunate incident can teach us. I will be submitting separately my concrete proposals for legislation regarding the issue of hazing, which I sincerely hope will help the committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The chair recognizes the co-chair of this joint committee hearing, the chairman of the Committee on Justice and Human Rights, Senator Dick Gordon. Good evening, sir. Please proceed.
Sir, were you aware of the rites and rituals of the Aegis Juris Fraternity, such as the holding of a welcome party after the so-called finals, during the course of which Acho allegedly died?
I'm not aware, Mr. Chairman.
You are not aware. As a fraternity alumnus, you are definitely held in high esteem by your fraternity, and that's why there was a statement made by Acho na isa po sa mga member ng fraternity ay naging dean na ng UST Faculty of Civil Law. Do you categorically deny any participation or in any part of the fraternity's initiation process?
I deny categorically, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dean. Dean, I will get to overall policy implementation in my questioning later, but I want to assess the implementation of Republic Act number 8049 insofar as Acho's case is concerned. Section 2 of Republic Act number 8049 requires that prior to any rites or rituals, written notice must be filled or submitted to the school authorities at least 7 days before the activity. Sir, do you have a record of how many fraternities, sororities, or organizations filed notices with the administration of the Faculty of Civil Law in compliance with Section 2 of Republic Act number 8049?
Mr. Chairman, hazing in whatever form or manner is prohibited by UST. The manual of UST provides explicitly that it is not allowed, is prohibited. In fact, it's a condition for recognition that the officers must undertake not to perform any act of hazing, Mr. Chairman.
So you're saying that Aegis Juris did not file or submit a notice prior to the initiation rights of Acho?
None, Mr. Chairman.
If notice was not filed by Aegis Juris for the initiation of Acho, then you would agree with me, Dean Divina, that the fraternity violated Republic Act number 8049.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and even if there is notice, as I said, hazing in whatever form or manner is not allowed in UST.
I thank you for that, but unfortunately, Mr. Chair, the law is also silent on the penalty to be applied when there is a violation of Section 2. Mr. Chair, just to go on, may I ask Dean Divina, what are the existing fraternities, sororities in the UST Faculty of Civil Law?
You have Aegis Juris Fraternity, Mr. Chairman, Gamma Delta Epsilon, Suprema Lex, Lex Equitas Sorority, Regina Legis, and Astria Sorority, Mr. Chairman.
And these existing fraternities or sororities recognized or accredited by the Faculty of Civil Law?
For this year, Aegis Juris is not recognized, Mr. Chairman.
It's not recognized.
That's right, Mr. Chairman.
Because it's also a fact, Mr. Chairman, that Aegis Juris has not been accredited by the Office of Student Affairs of the University of Santo Tomas. Mr. Chair, let me ask Dean Divina, what are the requirements for a fraternity, sorority to be recognized or accredited by university and the Faculty of Civil Law?
It must be a legitimate organization, Mr. Chairman, and of course has to be composed of bona fide students. But in relation to this query or investigation, Mr. Chairman, they are required to undertake that they should not engage in hazing in any manner or form.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the UST Faculty of Civil Law has a website, doesn't it? And it says here, the website is being sponsored by Divina Law Offices. Is that correct, Your Honor?
We commissioned a software developer to do the website, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, in the UST Civil Law website, there is a web page for the Faculty of Civil Law website. When one accesses the website and checks on non-academic organizations, you will be directed to a homepage. Non-academic organizations, Mr. Chairman. First in line is Aegis Juris Fraternity. But right now, Mr. Chairman, if you go to the website, wala na po ito, tinanggal na. But I have a copy, Mr. Chair. This is just recently nandun po. And I'm not sure, Mr. Chairman, if Acho actually saw this and thought it would be a good idea to join the fraternity. Is the Dean of the UST Faculty of Civil Law aware of this, Mr. Chair?
I just coordinate with the Faculty Secretary, Mr. Chairman.
Because, Mr. Chairman, if this is correct, the inclusion of Aegis Juris, and as mentioned a while ago, is not even accredited in the official website of UST Faculty of Civil Law. It appears to be an endorsement, Mr. Chairman, on the part of the school to join the fraternity for potential and current students of the school.
Mr. Chairman, well, the website was put up years ago, and I'm not sure if it's updated, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I'm telling you, Mr. Chair, that it's here. I have it with me, and
But you can be assured, Mr. Chairman, that when that website was put up and it made reference to a fraternity that's on the premise that they are duly recognized by the university. It's an annual recognition, Mr. Chairman, so they have to comply with the requirements every year. So if you do not comply with the requirements, then they are not accredited for the given year.
would you agree with me, Dean Divina, that recruitment and membership to the fraternities and sororities in the Faculty of Civil Law did not stop from the time of the passage and implementation of Republic Act number 8049 was passed until the present?
Mr. Chairman, I don't think there's something wrong with joining fraternity. It's a very noble organization. It exists for lawful purposes to foster brotherhood and camaraderie and give support to one another. So there's nothing wrong in joining a fraternity. Hazing is wrong in all accounts, so far as we are concerned. But hazing is not synonymous with fraternity joining, Mr. Chairman.
Is Acho the first casualty of the UST
Unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, yes, and it happened during my time. That's why it's very painful likewise.
Mr. Chair, what is the administrative procedure for the UST Faculty of Civil Law in case of hazing-related incidents?
Mr. Chairman, we proceed on the premise that there is no hazing, and if that is violated, we conduct investigation and impose the appropriate sanctions.
Mr. Chairman, may we find out from
Is you recognize Senator Soto?
maybe find out from Senator Villanueva when he downloaded that particular web page.
A couple of months ago, Mr. Chair. Yeah. Before the incident.
And when you open it now, wala na.
It's none. Well, Mr. Chair, may I ask now our police investigators, just for fact-finding questions. I'll be very brief, Your Honor. Unahin ko lang po yung pagkakatagpo kay Acho. Sa kasamaang palad, sinabi po na dead on arrival ang kalagayan niya, pero linawin lang po natin, sigurado po ako mayroon siyang gamit na hawak noong panahong idinala po siya doon sa Chinese General Hospital. Meron po ba siyang cellular phone, si Acho, noong dinala siya sa Chinese General Hospital? And alam nating may cellphone kasi si Acho kasi ginamit po niya ito nung tumawag po siya ng Uber driver upang kunin ang gamit niya at ibalik sa bahay nila.
Your Honor, when the body of the Horacio Castillo was examined at the Chinese General Hospital, there was no cell phone at the time in the remains, or the immediate body of the victim, Your Honor.
As of now, we have yet to find out if there's a cell phone na recover.
There was no cell phone recovered, but according to the parents of Horacio Castillo, there were several missing items from his possession, to include the cell phone, certain personal effects, his wallet, credit cards, and sum of money. That is precisely why also we're charging them for robbery in that account, Your Honor.
Pinatay na, ninakawan pa.
Senator Villanueva, with your permission, I would just like to be clarified. Yung ustcivillaw.com, hindi updated po?
It's not updated.
Kasi
Mr.
meron ditong na-upload, memo order dated September 20, 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
It looks
for
updated to me. No?
Mr. Chairman, for issuances of pronouncements, they're updated, but the content is not updated, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, siguro dapat i-check din po natin yon, perhaps with the telecommunications company, para makilaman natin kung sino yung mga nakausap niya, ano po yung mga nangyari. Hindi ko lang po palalampasin na may kasama po natin dito yung isa sa mga kasamahan sa Aegis Jury sa fraternity, si Mr. Solano. Mr. Solano, would you know kung papaanong na-recruit si Acho? Ikaw ba ang nag-recruit sa kanya?
Good evening, Your Honor. No po. I'm an inactive member of the fraternity, and I am currently not enrolled in the civil law.
But would you know kung kailan siya ni-recruit? Papaano siyang in-approach?
Your Honor, none in my personal knowledge.
Thank you. Balikan ko na lang yung mga investigators natin. Sir, natukoy niyo po ba o alam niyo na ba kung saan nangyari ang insidente ng hazing na ikinamatay ni Acho?
Sir. Based on the evidence provided by eyewitnesses and also from in the course of investigation, the hazing or initiation rites was held or conducted in the frat library premises located along Navarra Street between Dapitan and Laong-Laan Streets in Sampaloc, Manila, Your Honor.
Alam ko po yan. Diyan yung bilyaran. Malapit sa Dapitan. Sir, lumalabas sa mga balita na, no, na nakaalis na po ng bansa si Ralph Caballes Trangia. Alam po ba natin kung nag-iisa po siyang lumabas o may kasama po siya? Meron na po ba tayong alam kung kailan nabili yung ticket na itong EVA Air ticket? Sino po yung bumili? May credit card po ba?
Yes, sir. Initial information we have that Ralph Trangia left the country last September 18, bound for Taipei and then proceeding to the United States. With him is his mother, Miss Cecilia Trangia, As to the details of the purchase of the airline tickets and to the details of the travel, that is still subject of our ongoing investigation, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Magwawakas na po ako. Alam niyo po ba kung, policy question lang, sir, no? Alam niyo po kung mayroong agarang o special procedure na isinasagawa ang pulis kapag natukoy na dahil sa hazing ang rason ng pagkamatay ng isang dinala po kunyari sa ospital?
Sir, for the information of the Honorable Senate, at the time when the body of Horacio Castillo was reported to Homicide Section, at the time we were not aware that he was a hazing victim. In fact, we were considering him, he was an unidentified dead body reported to us by the Chinese General Hospital, probably a victim of extrajudicial killing, drug-related murders, summary accusation, or rub-outs, which is at that time, which is not common, or not uncommon in different streets of Manila. So that's why we had a difficult time of investigating the incident, particularly the person who supposed to have brought the body of Horacio Castillo to the hospital claimed that he was the one who discovered that lifeless body, and out of the goodness of his heart, being a good Samaritan, he was the one who brought this body to China's General Hospital. It is only then that we found out that he was a member of the Aegis Juris fraternity, and the statements given by the parents of Horacio Castillo that we were able to determine that the possible death of Horacio Castillo was hazing related or fraternity related, Your Honor.
But sir, if it is hazing related and if it looks like it, is there a protocol o sistema kung paano ititreat ito?
In our operating procedure, sir, we'll just consider it
It's
as
just an ordinary...
murder homicide investigation, but considering that we were able to determine that it's considered, it is connected to a hazing activity with the University of Santo Tomas, we have coordinated with the administration and school officials of the said university.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Salamat,
Thank you. A
Senator
minor
Grace.
correction on the order of arrival of the senators. After Senator Po, Senator Aquino, because he arrived ahead of Senator Subiri, Gatchalan, and the others. So with that, Senator Po is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Unahin po natin ang tanong na ito kay Mr. Solano. Ikaw ang susi dito para mas maintindihan natin sapagkat ikaw nga nakakita di umano dun sa katawan nitong si Acho. Ang una mong statement, hindi mo kilala ito, napadaan ka lamang doon, ngayon binago mo ang sinabi mong yan. Mahal mong pamilya mo, hindi ba?
Your Honor, yes po, Your Honor.
Mahal mo rin siguro yung bayan mo
Yes, Your Honor.
at ang sarili mo.
Opo, Your Honor.
Ngayon, pagkakataon mo na to, nag-iisa ka lang dito, ang daming miyembro na mga kasama mo, ikaw lang ang naririto ngayon. Ano ba talaga ang nangyari? Sapagkat doon sa report, hindi naman talaga sa balot tondo nakita yung katawan na yon. Ano bang nangyari? Paano mo, una sinabi mo hindi mo siya kilala, di ba? Tapos merong CCTV footage na nagsasabing kilala mo naman pala. So bakit ka nagsinungaling nung umpisa, tapos binawi mo rin? Pakikwento nga, ano ba talaga ang papel mo dito sa nangyari?
Your Honor, I would like to clarify po yung kilala ko siya. Hindi ko po siya kilala. Hindi na po ako nagpupunta ng civil law. Hindi rin po ako active sa frat since I am a working.
Pero
Your
ka-frat mo. Ka-frat
Your Honor.
mo. Dahil miyembro siya ng frat, di ba? O siya ini-initiate dun sa frat.
Wala po akong knowledge about regarding
Okay,
sa
so paano
activities
mo
ng
siya
fraternities.
natagpuan? Itong katawan. Bakit ka nandun?
Your Honor, I was Saturday morning. I was on the comfort of my bed po. Someone called me. It's a number.
Anong tumawag sa'yo?
Your Honor, I cannot tell right now. I would say it on my affidavit since they filed multiple cases against me. I voluntarily surrendered to aid this case, but they filed cases against me.
Pero alam mo, kahit nasabihin mo yung pangalan nila, kung totoo naman yun, anong kaso ang pwede nilang mapatong sa'yo? Sabihin mo na.
Your Honor, I am just invoking my right po, with all due respect po.
So mga kasama mo sa frat. Kung hindi mo man sabihin ang pangalan, kasama mo sa frat?
Yes po. I would confirm that one.
Okay. So tinawagan ka Tapos, anong sinabi?
They just said na punta raw ako.
Punta ka saan?
Punta raw po ako sa frat library.
Okay, so tama yung sinasabi ninyo. Police Superintendent, Chief Superintendent Coronel sa frat library. Noong pumunta ka ng frat library, ano ang nakita
Actually,
mo?
that's not the the time na pumunta po ako. I denied their tumanggi po akong pumunta since I'm working po Saturday, Sunday on my father's clinic.
Okay, so you didn't proceed to the
I did
frat
not proceed
library
right away.
right away, meaning you proceeded after a few hours passed.
They called me again and they insisted.
So, after they called you, ilang oras ang nakalipas?
Around 30 to 40 minutes po, Your Honor.
Okay, so so less than an hour. And then, what did you do?
The same frat member called me po.
And then you went to the library.
I asked why, because the first time they called, I didn't ask why, and not that they didn't ask why. I asked why, but they said basta.
Okay.
The second time, they told me the reason why I should go.
Okay, so when they told you the reason why you should go, what reason did they tell you?
They just told me that someone collapsed.
Someone collapsed. Okay, so you proceeded to the library. Let's go there. Okay, so you were at the library,
Yes po.
and what did you see?
I saw someone na nakahiga sa floor.
Okay, and as soon as you saw that person lying on the floor, you examined that person. Why did they
Yes.
call you in particular? You're the medic? Do you have any medical training?
I do have medical trainings po.
Okay, in what capacity? Are you a pre-med student? Did you
I'm a
take EMT?
registered medical technologist po, Your Honor.
Okay, so you examined the body or the person, and you came to the conclusion that this person is dead.
On the first look po, he looks unconscious lang po, Your Honor.
Okay, and then what were your next?
The first thing
action.
I checked po is the pupils and then the pulse po.
Tapos, kinuha mo, anong ginawa na ninyo? Dinala mo sa ospital o anong ginawa
Not yet
mo?
po. When I checked the pulse, I didn't hear anything po. So I administered CPR po.
So, nag-CPR ka pa?
Yes po.
Okay. Tapos nun, dinala mo sa ospital.
Yes po.
Ikaw lang mag-isa?
I was with some frat members po.
So, may mga frat members. Bakit ikaw lang ang na-identify? So, ikaw lang ang nagtagal sa ospital?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Okay. Tapos, nung tinanong ka, sinabi mo na lang, nadampot mo doon sa Balot Tondo.
Ang totoo po, Your Honor, they told me to say it.
Who told you to say?
A frat member po that I would include in my affidavit po.
Okay. Alam mo, Mr. Solano, parang gusto kong maniwala talaga na ikaw yung ginagawa nilang biktima din dito eh. Dahil kung kasama ka man o hindi, sigurado ko, hindi ka nag-iisa dyan. Eh, so, maaaring tinawagan ka na lang nga nila nung bandang huli para dalhin itong si Acho doon sa ospital. Ngayon, babalik ako sa inyo mamaya siguro kung may oras pa. Pero nais ko munang tanungin, siguro si Mr. Castillo. Mr. Castillo, totoo ba yung napabalita na tinawagan ninyo si Dean Divina para alagaan ang anak ninyo dito sa initiation rites or dito sa, ano bang tawag dito? Initiation. Opo.
Hindi po totoo yan.
So wala kayo. Hindi mo kilala si Dean Divina.
Hindi ko po siya kilala.
Okay. Ngayon, Dean Divina, kayo ay, well, isa kayo sa mga naging miyembro pero ngayon kayo ay on leave na. Nung nalaman ninyo yung nangyari, dahil kayo yung dean dito sa USD faculty kayo, ano yung una ninyong ginawa?
Tinawagan po ang aming faculty secretary. Sinabi ko na mag-gather po ng more details at kunin yung name and address kung available. Ang plano ko sana, Your Honor, pag nakuha namin pangalan at address at ma-confirm talaga may patay, pupunta ko po sana yung parents. And sinabi ko po sa aming faculty secretary na sabihan din aming father regent para malaman niya. Nung Monday po, lumabas na yung balita, kaya napatawag po agad ako ng meeting na aming faculty council.
Anong petsa yung Monday? September ano yun? Ay, hindi bale na. Kasi nakakabawas din to sa oras. Marami akong gustong tanungin sa inyong nandito. Isa sa mga naging aksyon mo ay suspindihin yung mga di umanong nasama dito sa fraternity hazing na ito. Alam nyo, marami na ring mga, totoo ba na itong aegis juris na ito, nasama rin sa isang pagkakagulong nangyari sa Manila Hotel. Mr. Coronel, nagkaroon ng insidente, hindi ba?
Yes, Your Honor. That happened on September 4, 2016, and the first day of the 2016 bar examinations.
Ano
where,
nangyari doon? Anong kaguluhan na nangyari?
there was a fraternity rumble involving members of the Aegis Juris fraternity and another UST Law fraternity as Gamma Delta fraternity.
Ano nangyari? May nasaktan ba?
Yes, there were persons injured on both sides, and that they were brought also for investigation here at Manila Police District.
What was your
Headquarters.
course of action? Thank you, sir. What was your course of action, Dean Divina, at that time? Did you suspend also those who were involved in that rumble, supposedly?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I issued the order of suspension, preventive suspension against all members and officers of both fraternities. And I created right away a committee to conduct an
But right
investigation.
after the investigation, not when the investigation was
You know,
pending.
the Monday following the incident, I issued the order right away.
Okay, because what's quite surprising also is that even before all of the facts were, well, not even all, but even before the PNP had any action done, you already suspended the students, correct?
Yes, Your Honor, it's a preventive suspension, Your Honor. It's a precautionary measure against possible interference in the conduct of the investigation. At the same
Interference, they're not exactly in a position of power, these
Your Honor,
students.
Your Honor, I mean talking to possible or potential witnesses.
Yeah,
And
but-
the same,
Pero, sorry, Dean ha. Mr. Coronel, hindi ba mas nahirapan pa nga kayong hanapin itong mga estudyanteng ito dahil hindi na nagpapapasok?
At the time after the Horacio Castillo report given to us, we had a difficult time looking for members of the Aegis fraternity.
Precisely because they weren't anymore showing up in school, right?
Because we were told that they had been prevented or prohibited from entering the school campus at that time as a result of the suspension order issued by the Dean of Faculty.
Okay. Sir, after the incident, after these things happened, do you have any information where those fraternity members gathered after the crime was committed? Meron ba kayong impormasyon kung saan sila nagpunta? Sinong kumupkop sa kanila? Sir,
Yes.
you're under oath. Please tell us what you know. No, Mr. Coronel, kayo.
Yes, ma'am. We have received reports that the officers and members of the fraternity who were involved in the initiation rites were being coddled or being kept by senior members of their fraternity.
Which particular senior members?
At this time, Your Honor, if may, we may not reveal their identities because they're still subject of investigation.
Okay, but sir, with the information that you have, would you say that the senior member is currently present in this plenary?
I have no direct evidence as of now regarding to that
But-
particular.
Okay, I know that you're not mentioning the name, but then, with the information that you have, isang mataas na opisyal dun sa kanilang fraternity na naririto. Hindi mo sinagot. So, siguro naririto na nga. Okay. Matanong din kita, siguro, Dean, kayo po hindi na kayo aktibong member ng inyong frat, di ba? Kasi nga, out of delicadeza, kayo'y Dean ngayon. Sa inyong law firm, ilan doon ang miyembro ng Aegis Juris?
about 6 or 7 out of 60 lawyers, Mr. Chairman.
Only 6 or 7?
Out of 60 lawyers.
Okay. I just want to make sure that there's no undue favoritism, supposedly, in your case. But I think it's quite telling that after the incident, pagkatapos nangyari yon, yung mga di umanong kasama dun sa hazing na yon ay pumunta, kinupkop ng isang mataas na opisyal din ng fraternity group na yan. Ngayon, mabalik na lang tayo dito siguro sa huli na lang ito, Mr. Chair, dito kay Mr. Solano. Masasabi mo ba dito, categorically, na wala ka talagang kinalaman sa pagpatay dito kay Acho?
Yes po, Your Honor, outright po.
Okay, so masasabi mo rin ba dito na ikaw ay tinawagan lamang ng mga miyembro ng fraternity para nga, dahil nga ikaw ay may background sa medisina, na tignan itong si Acho at ikaw din ang nagdala dun sa ospital?
Yes, Your Honor.
So masasabi mo ba din dito, dahil nga sa expertise mo, nakita mo yon, na siya talaga ay pinatay nung mga kasama niya?
No, Your Honor, I am not on the position to say that someone is dead po because I'm not a doctor.
Okay. And maybe you did not witness firsthand the actual beating, right?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Okay. Ang gusto ko lang siguro sabihin dito, di ba? Meron isang editorial na lumabas, Mr. Chair, My Brother, My Killer. Ang ibig sabihin nun sa ating wika, ang kapatid ko, ang berdugo ko. Ganun yung nangyayari dito sa atin. Ang mga taong tinitingala natin, ang mga taong dapat nagpoprotekta sa atin, sila pa mismo ang nagbawi ng buhay ng isang merong potensyal na ganun. So Mr. Solano, ikaw ba ngayon gusto mong tulungan si Acho na magkaroon ng hustisya?
Yes, Your Honor, that's why I voluntarily surrendered to aid the investigation po.
So I realize that you cannot probably divulge all of what you know now because of a case being filed against you. But we are hoping that you will look beyond just the fraternity and the implication this has on other young individuals who are pursuing their dreams, who are trying to find a way to have a brotherhood, hoping that they will be protected. Susi sa'yo yan. Huwag kang matakot sapagkat kahit na sila ay mga makapangyarihang tao, wala ditong immune pagdating sa katarungan. Dapat lahat tayo pantay-pantay. Tutulungan ka namin dito. Huwag kang mag-alala, huwag kang matakot na malakas kasi ang mga namumuno dyan. Taong bayan ang nasa likod mo. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you
That's
po.
all, Mr.
Would you
Chair.
like to respond?
I would like to thank lang po for what she said po.
Yeah, before I
Your Honor.
recognize Senator Aquino, with your permission, there's a Facebook group chat, itong fraternity. Dito sa mga exchanges ninyo, what struck me is the one at 9:11 a.m. Sunday. Nakalagay dito, Axel, I suppose that's Mr. Axel Mundo Hipe, emergency. Ikaw rin ba si Popoy, yung sinasabing Popoy?
My nickname is Popoy po,
Okay.
pero I cannot
Anyway.
categorically say that I'm Popoy po, Your Honor.
Emergency, pwede po hingin number ni Popoy. Okay, so hinahanap ka. I suppose, dahil wala ka pa doon, talaga hiningi yung emergency number mo eh. No? Ang may sumagot, sabi niya, yan number niya sa akin, pa-check, pero si OJ ang tumawag kanina. I suppose OJ would be Oliver John Audrey Onofre, no? Si OJ. Tumawag kanina. Ang time dito, 9:21. So, looking at the Facebook group chat, Axel was looking for the number of Popoy at 9:11. Tapos, pakiconfirm ito, Chief Superintendent Coronel. Per news reports, Castillo was declared dead on arrival at around 9:21 a.m. Tama
Yes,
ba
sir.
yan?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor. This is pursuant to the certification.
Kung hinahanap si Popoy ng 9:11, ang ibig sabihin nito, buhay pa si Acho. Kasi 9:21 siya declared dead on arrival. Following this timeline, yun nga, it appears that Solano had already picked up the body and was already on his way to the hospital. Naimbestigahan niyo ba ito, Jigs? Do you have a copy of this group
The
chat?
Facebook exchanges, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
what do you make of this?
We forwarded it to our anti-cybercrime group, sir. So they're the ones who will be validating
authenticate.
it and authenticate. Yes, sir. I'm waiting for the results as of we
Yes.
speak now. Yes, sir.
Assuming that authentic ito, no? What do you make of this?
Apparently, there's a conspiracy to cover up the details
Yes,
regarding
because
that.
pagkatapos noon, Ang sabi ni Arvin, ito yung si Arvin Balag, delete nyo na muna. Oh. And then Arvin again, code of silence. Manahimik na lang muna lahat. Arvin again, deactivate kayo account. May sumagot, deactivate ako. And then Popoy, Brads, applicable dito 3 hours detention rule, di ba? So maybe this can...
Yes, sir.
this is part of your investigation.
That's part of our cybercrime exploitation and
Yes.
investigation.
It's
Mr.
part of the evidence once authenticated by your cybercrime unit, cybercrime group
Yes, Your
sa
Honor.
PNP. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, very quickly lang. Siguro paalala ko lang kay Mr. Solano kasi yung sinasabi natin na nandito tayo para rin bigyan siya ng lakas loob. Kasi alam mo, malalaking taong kabangga niya rito eh. Nandito ka naman, Mr. Chair. So kung kailangan natin ikaw tulungan na. Salamat po.
Hindi naman ako malaking... Senator Bam is recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. So first of all, my condolences to the Castillo family. It is truly heart-wrenching what happened to your son. Gusto ko po munang malaman, Mr. Castillo, how did you find out kung ano po yung nangyari sa anak ninyo? And what time was this and what day?
I have a statement.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
We are Toti and Minnie Castillo, parents of Horacio Castillo, and we stand before this committee to find answers for the brutal murder of our only son, Horacio. Our heart breaks every memory of the boy we had raised for 22 years with painstaking care. The boy we had cherished, the boy who had brought us so much pride and joy. He had many hopes and dreams. He wanted to be a lawyer, a senator, and even a justice of the Supreme Court. And we dreamed all of this with him. We are devastated that senseless and barbaric acts can put an end to those dreams so abruptly. We are no different from any other parent here. We live our lives for our children, wishing always to shield them from harm, to protect them from unkindness, to shelter them from injustice. We will forever be tormented by the thought that the Aedis Jewish fraternity invited him to their organization, only to treat him like an animal. After killing our son and dumping him in the Chinese Journal in the morning of September 17, they only informed us of his death and whereabouts on September 18, or a day later. We want to know the truth of what happened that night and every detail so we can live his final hours with him and let him know now that he is not alone, that we are always with him. We continue to plead with the administrators of the University of Santo Tomas and the administrators of the UST Faculty Civil Law to ensure a thorough, impartial, and swift investigation into Atio's murder. We appeal to Dean Nilo Divina to exhibit heroic leadership and impartiality, regardless of his affiliation with Aegis Juris. Decisive and unequivocal action is needed because some students who have information relating to Atio's deaths are afraid to come out because of the fraternity's perceived influence. To the members of the Aegis Jewish fraternity who continue to be silent, in hiding, or who have fled the country, we will not rest and will not stop, and we will leave no stone unturned and resources untapped until everyone complicit in the hazing riots are brought to justice. Only the Almighty God can judge you. But your actions now, whether of cowardice or courage, will forever define you as a person and your fraternity as an institution. To the students of UST and classmates of Atio, or Hor, or as we call him, difficult as it may be, please tell us more about what you know regarding Atio's death. As shown by the Senate hearing today, the whole country is behind you. We pray that the good Lord grants you and us courage amidst the challenges in our lives. We will always be grateful and we will never leave you, just as we are grateful to your classmates who have already provided us valuable information. Finally, we thank the good senators who called for this inquiry, as well as the PNP, especially Director General Bato de la Rosa and Chief Superintendent Joel Colnel, and the DOJ led by Secretary Vitaliano Aguila and other government agencies who are helping us in these very difficult times. Hazing had already claimed many young lives even before Atio. Sadly, this ruthless crime continues to happen every year with fraternities and their members often going scot-free. The anti-hazing law should be there to protect these young men and women from false promise of brotherhood. We hope that through this legislative hearing and the anti-hazing law will be strengthened so that no other young man or woman would ever suffer the fate of Atio. Atio had lived his life standing up for what he believed in and standing up for those who couldn't. It would have made him very happy knowing that in the end, his life's purpose was to ensure that hazing would not happen to anyone ever again.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Castillo. Sir, nabanggit po ninyo na nalaman lang po ninyo nung pangalawang araw, the second day, which was Monday, September 18. May I find out, paano po nyo nalaman?
What happened was we were waiting for our son. He promised us that he would be home Saturday morning, Sunday morning, coming from the maybe the final celebration or final ceremonies. I don't know what that means. And then Sunday morning came, and me and Minnie, we were waiting for call or text, and walang dumating. This went on, and what she told him was, let's wait a little longer. Maybe let's start to worry when it's already past 12, because that's the time he promised us that he'd be home. It was already 6 o'clock and still no text or call. So then it was then that my wife decided to do some phone calls. She reached out for that pamphlet that everybody saw, and we started to call the people who had their phone numbers in it. And to our surprise, nobody was answering.
Sir, anong pamphlet po yun?
It was like an invitation from the Aegis Jewish. It was like a pamphlet that encouraged you to join Aegis Jewish
Alright.
fraternity.
So it's an Aegis Juris document.
I think so, Your Honor.
So lahat po ng tinawagan po doon, wala pong sumasagot.
Wala po.
Please continue, sir.
So we got really worried. We didn't know who to talk to or what to do. And nightfall came. So it was already 9 o'clock. And we were really worried. At 10 o'clock, my wife said, why don't we go to the UST hospital? Maybe Acho is confined there. So immediately we got up and proceeded to the UST hospital. He wasn't there. And then we also went to around the building in Navarra to check if there are people there still celebrating. And after going there, we saw the place. It was closed. And then after that, we proceeded. We went back home. And that's the time that we got an anonymous text that my son Atio was in CGH.
Okay.
At first, we thought CGH meant maybe wrongly spelled. Maybe it stand for PGH. But my daughter said, Dad, maybe that's Chinese General Hospital. That's nearer to UST. So what we did was to call Chinese General Hospital to confirm if there's a person by the name of Horacio Castillo III admitted. At first, I called up Chinese General Hospital, the emergency room. At first, they said nobody by that name. And then I was thinking maybe they used another name or an alias. I just said that, do you have a medium build 22 male admitted in your hospital. What they said was, we have here a person of that build, and sabi ko, do you know if that is my son? My son is from UST. And then the nurse that I was talking to said that person was wearing a UST political science T-shirt. So,
Right. Sige sir, I don't want you to I know it's very painful for you to recall all of this. Ito pong anonymous text po na nakuha po ninyo was on Sunday night or Monday morning po?
that was already Sunday morning na po. Monday morning.
Monday morning na po. Alright. So nalaman ho ninyo yan Monday morning.
Monday.
Were you able to provide the police the telephone number po of
Yes.
that texted you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Let me ask Dean Divina. Dean, when did you find out na namatay po si Acho?
Well, Sunday afternoon, Mr. Chairman, I got a call from our faculty secretary informing me that there were unconfirmed reports of the death of a neophyte. So I asked him to check further, get more information, and then at around 6 p.m. he said, patay na daw, Mr. Chairman.
So Dean, in short, nauna pa kayo sa parents ho ni Acho?
The Sunday, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, because they found out Monday morning. So ibig ko sabihin yan, yung nagsabi ho sa inyo na yun na po yung kalagayan po ni Acho, knew something. So sino po yung nagbanggit po sa inyo na namatay na po si Acho? Is this person a faculty member?
The faculty secretary informed me.
So Attorney
confirmed
Kapili
reports.
informed you. At Kapili, how did you find out na namatay po si Acho?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Are you a member of the fraternity?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Just for the record, sino ho dito yung member ng Aegis Juris Fraternity? Alright. Okay. So, as well as Attorney Kapili?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Alright. Attorney Kapili, sige po, paano nyo po nalaman na ganun po yung kalagayan ni Acho?
Hindi ko po nalaman, Mr. Chairman, na si Acho yon. Ang unang tumawag sa akin, maybe around 11 o'clock,
AM on Sunday.
Sunday, may tumawag sa akin at tinatanong, Mr. Chairman, if I know about a news item or a news report or an information that a student of the UST Faculty of Civil Law died from a hazing incident. So I was surprised. Sabi ko, I did not know, Mr. Chairman.
Sino po yung nag-contact ko sa inyo?
Mr. Chairman, with the kind indulgence of the committee, can I pass on the name in confidence later? Because I understand, Mr. Chairman, that some of our alumni brads are also reaching out to the other members in order for them to cooperate.
For them to cooperate or for them to keep quiet?
No, Your Honor,
This to cooperate.
That's the
Alright, because
information.
Attorney Kapili, gusto ho nating matrace, no? Because obviously, the source of that information was there during the time that Acho was killed.
When I asked him, he said he only heard it also, Your Honor.
So in short, nakita naman ho natin dun sa Facebook group, at a certain point, around that time, nagsabi na po na code of silence tayo. No? And yet, meron pa rin pong lumabas na information. And,
Yes, sure.
and if truly the alumni want to cooperate, they should be willing to tell us saan ho nanggaling yung mga informasyon na yan, and I'm sure Chief Superintendent Coronel can trace this back. So you will provide in confidence to the committee and to the PNP
Yes, Your Honor.
kung sino po yung nagsabi ho sa inyo
Yes, sure.
at around 11 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor, more or less.
Because, Mr. Solano, tama ho ba natawagan kayo at 9 a.m. of Sunday? Is that correct? You received the information na pumunta po at kunin po yung katawan ni Acho at 9 a.m.?
Your Honor, I was first called around 6:20 or 6:30 in the morning.
So, ganun kaaga. 6:30 a.m., alam nating may nangyari na because tinawagan ka na. Pero sumagot ka sa kanila after 45 minutes. Is that correct?
Your Honor, at first call, they did not told me what happened. On the
Okay.
second call, around 7:10 or 7:15 in the morning, they told me what happened.
And what did they say? Did they say that Acho had passed away or they said may nagkakaproblema?
They told me that someone collapsed. I thought it was something else.
So they did not indicate kung the life or death of Acho. They just said collapsed.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we can surmise that this happened at 6:30 a.m. So from that time, umabot ng 7:30, may Facebook account, nagkaroon ng sharing of information na merong emergency, umikot na sa alumni by 11 a.m. And we can trace all of this back, Chief Coronel. Is this correct, no? Pwede hong matrace lahat to.
Yes, sir, we can validate and verify those.
All right. And have the attorneys here been cooperative with the investigation?
Yes, sir. So far, they have been providing us information.
Nabigay na ho ni Attorney Capili sa PNP yung pangalan nung nag-text sa kanya.
Ah,
For the record? Yeah, could you please use your mic for the record?
No, sir, he's not given us that information yet.
All right. But you will be providing that, Attorney Capili?
yes, Your Honor.
When?
Can
Today,
you
right
provide it
now.
Can you give it the name now?
I'm
Give
sorry,
it to him. Give it to him
Why
now.
don't you just give the name now?
Yes, Mr.
Please. Please approach the
Would you
chair
like to approach us?
and write down the name so you can give it to us. Senator Soto is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, with the permission of Senator Aquino, just on
Yes,
Mr.
go ahead,
Solano. Bakit sa Chinese General Hospital mo dinala? Ba't hindi sa UST?
Your Honor, they just told me to follow them to Chinese Gen, Your Honor.
May kasama kang iba.
Yes, Your Honor, I won't deny that.
You were following... go ahead, Senator Aquino. I'm sure you can follow up on that point. Sinundan mo yung sasakyan nila.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anong sasakyan mo?
Your Honor, I was riding my motorcycle that time.
So you were riding a motorcycle, you followed the red pickup.
Yes, Your Honor.
Isa lang yun? Isang sasakyan lang yung sinusundan mo?
There were two, Your Honor. One black Fortuner and a red pickup.
And they brought him to the Chinese General Hospital.
Yes, Your Honor.
So hindi ikaw ang nagdala, nakasunod ka lang. Nakamotor ka eh.
Your Honor, I was the one who initiated that the victim should be sent to the hospital, Your Honor.
Bakit nga CGH? Bakit hindi UST?
I just initiated that the victim should go to the hospital and then they chose Chinese Gen and I should follow.
Thank you, Senator Aquino.
And
Sorry.
Mr. Solano, yung they, lahat ng pangalan na yan ay bigay mo na sa PNP. Yung they na sinasabi mo.
Not yet, Your Honor, but I have my affidavit ready. Your
When will you provide the PNP the names of these individuals?
Your Honor, because I was filed charges.
So gusto mo pumasok sa
so-
witness protection in short?
No, Your Honor. I would be filing my affidavit after they filed through a counter charge.
Okay, because time is of the essence here, Chief Coronel, no? Time is of the essence here. Naglilipatan na ho ng bansa yung mga ibang membro ng fraternity. Palagay ko po, mahalagang makuha na po natin yung alam mo ni itong si Mr. Solano. Ilan po sila? Maybe, since you don't want to provide the names, maybe you can inform us how many were in the black vehicle, how many were in the red vehicle?
Your Honor, with all due respect po, I invoke my right to be silent po.
It's your right to self-incrimination, no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Chief Coronel, may CCTV po ba yung Chinese General Hospital?
Yes, sir. There was a CCTV recording at the Chinese General Hospital and also in the vicinity of the said hospital,
Right.
showing
Mr. Solano.
Yes, sir. Mr. Solano on board a motorcycle following a red Mitsubishi Strada and a black Fortuner.
Bumaba po ba yung mga nasa pula at itim na kotse at nakuha po ng CCTV?
Yung isa lang po, sir, yung tumulong na ibaba yung katawan ni...
And the rest stayed inside their vehicles?
Yes, Your
They
Honor.
didn't even help? Hindi
Yes,
man
Your Honor.
tumulong?
Yes, Your Honor.
With respect, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Senator Gordon is recognized.
were you able to get the plate number of the red Prada and the black Fortuner?
We have both registration plates of both the Strada
You
and the black.
already know who owns them?
To the red Mitsubishi Strada, it belongs to Antonio Trangia, and the black Fortuner, sir, is has no confirmation yet from LTO, but we understand it belongs to a relative of Mr. Balag, Arvin Balag, the supposed head of the fraternity.
Does Leo Lalusis ring a bell?
He was also one of those mentioned as a person of interest in this investigation. Your
No,
Honor.
I mean in relation to the Black Fortuner.
We'll have to check on the record, sir,
Okay,
because we
thank
have not received the confirmation from the LT.
Just a short follow-up, Mr. Chairman, with the permission. And Antonio Tranja is the same person who escaped, who is already in the United States.
No, sir. Based on the information we got, he is the father of Ralph Tranja, a member of the Aegis Juris fraternity.
He is the father, the owner is the father.
It's registered to the father, yes, sir, Antonio
And his
Tranja.
son is the one who went to the States.
The one who departed last September 18th for Taipei, now in the States.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, let me just wrap up my questions. No? Let me ask the rest of the Aegis Juris members here, when did you find out that Acho had passed away? Mr. Attorney Fabella, at galing ho kanino nyo nakuha yung informasyon?
Good evening, Mr. Chair. I also found out about the incident around past lunchtime, also I think at the same time as Attorney Capili found it out, and also from senior brads who actually wanted also to know what happened because they themselves are not in the vicinity and they also would like to know what happened.
And please cooperate with the police and provide kanino po nanggaling yung nag-text ho sa inyo. I'm
With
sorry,
your
Attorney Akende, are you a member of the fraternity? No?
No.
All right. From UP. There were members here who raised their hands sa likod po ni Mr. Solano. Sino po dito yung member ng fraternity? Yes, sir. Could you please state your name? No, I can't see your nameplate. Kailan nyo po nalaman na nangyari po yung nangyari?
Your Honor, I'm Attorney Paternis Makel. I'm a member and one of the founder of Aegis Juris Fraternity. I came to know of it only through the newspaper. Because since I was admitted to the bar more than 30 years ago, I'm no longer active in the fraternity.
Since founder na rin ho kayo, tanungin ko kayo, ano pong pakiramdam ninyo na nangyari po ito sa inyong fraternity?
I will explain, okay? So since I was a founder, and I'm no longer active in the fraternity, since my admission to the Philippine Bar, I have only attended two affairs, and that is the silver anniversary and the 30th anniversary. So when I learned it in the newspaper, I was shocked. Okay, so I tried to get in touch with some of the members. So I learned that there's really a problem whether this guy will come out or not. So I was forced to come out and assist him. When we first met, his first question to me is, GP. Ang GP po sa amin, meaning Grand Prefectus, yung mga founder at president. GP, magko-cover up ba tayo dyan? Sabi ko sa kanya, no. And at Popoy can attest to that. No. Okay, that's why precisely I came out. Let the axe fall where it should fall. That's my exact word to him.
Okay, salamat po.
That's why I told him and I encouraged him to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. And we have already prepared affidavit for that. We will name names there, but we will submit the affidavit because there is already a charge. Okay? But I can assure you, there will be names there.
All right.
Okay?
Yes, Attorney, nagtaas ho kayo ng kamay. Kayo pong katabi ho ni Mr. Solano. What is your name, sir?
Good evening, Your Honor. I am not an attorney, Your Honor.
But are you a member of the fraternity?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm a fifth-year student at the Faculty of Civil Law.
Kailan niyo po nalaman na nangyari po yung trahedyang ito?
I'm Jason Adolfo Rubinos, Your Honor. I came to know about it around Sunday evening, mga 6 to 7. Brad text me na sabi niya, may unconscious na neophyte, sabi niya. So, you better be on guard, sabi niya, ganyan. Tapos, nagbalita po lang ako sa, the following morning ng Monday na, nabalitaan ko sa radio na, yun na po, may ano po.
Okay.
And,
So, General Coronel, no, you'll be able to track all of this information. Matatrack niyo po yan.
Yes, Your Honor.
And
we can,
pinpoint the source of the information.
Yes, Your Honor. we
Which
will
will
do that.
probably lead to who were actually there. Tama
Yes.
po.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were any of the Aegis Juris members here, for the record, were any of you present at the frat library during the hazing rites?
I am not present, Your Honor, and I'm not aware that there is a final rites on that day.
Attorney Capili.
I'm not aware of any initiation rights and I'm not present at the time.
Dean Divina.
Say with me, Mr. Chairman.
Dean, meron ho kaming nakuhang balita na, and Mr. Castillo mentioned this in his statement, na meron po mga estudyanteng gusto pong lumabas, pero natatakot na miyembro daw po kayo ng fraternity, that there is a so-called perceived influence of the fraternity at the law school. I'll give you the chance to address that.
Yeah, that's not true, Mr. Chairman. You know, there have been members of the fraternity who were debarred during my time, about 3 to 4 key officers of the fraternity. And many of my decisions went against the fraternity, and that's why I'm not liked particularly by some members of the fraternity.
All right, thank you, Dean. Finally, we received information, Mr. Chairman, na humingi po ng CCTV footage ang ating kapulisan. This was signed by Romel Anicete, Police Senior Inspector, and they requested for the CCTV footage of a law office near the frat library. This, if I'm not mistaken, is a, let me just get the law office here. This is a law office po of Bernardo Fuentes and Associates. And they have a CCTV, but they have not responded to the request of the police to provide CCTV footage. Is this correct, General Coronel?
Your Honor, we requested a copy of the CCTV footage of that law office, but they have provided us only this afternoon, Your Honor.
So
we already have
naka-provide, because we were planning to subpoena the
Yes, Your Honor.
CCTV footage, so no need.
Yes, Your Honor. The CCTV footage is already in our custody, and we're going to review the video recording. On
All
this
right.
matter.
Salamat po, General. Mr. Chairman, maraming salamat.
Sir, according to my chief investigator, Your Honor, when they reviewed it, there was nothing to be shown. Hindi po, wala po doon na-record at all, sir.
So, burado? Burado na?
We'll have it
Talagang
examined
wala.
by our technical experts kung binura, sir, intentionally or it was not working at that time. So,
Okay.
So,
we'll have
sorry, so there was no footage that
Wala, no.
you received?
Binigay sa amin, sir, yung recording of the supposed recording of that CCTV camera, but upon review of our investigators, there's nothing to be shown, sir. Parang
There's nothing to be
blank,
shown.
Blank, sir. Yes, sir. Blank.
Before I recognize Senator Subiri, any member or officer of the Aegis Juris, kindly identify for the record the current officers. Sino yung Grand Prefectus ngayon? GP. Name please. Marami. So nobody wants to... Secundus internus. Secundus externus. So talagang wala. Walang gusto. Yeah, but
I think Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, Perfecto, Mr. Perfecto, Attorney Perfecto?
no, paterno.
Paterno, sorry. Attorney Paterno, aren't you a GP?
No, I'm addressing my question to any officer or member.
Your Honor, I am not anymore active with the fraternity. I'm not aware of the leadership.
I just want to ask this question.
Yeah.
There are many GPs. You are the founders. Is that correct?
Kung all founders are being called GP po, then the president is also called GP.
So ilan lahat yung tinatawag na GP?
I'm not aware na po eh kasi as I said earlier, I'm no longer active with the fraternity.
You're a GP, you're a founder, you don't know who your co-founders are?
Yes, but I am no longer involved in the...
That's not relevant. You are a GP, you are a founder,
Yes.
and you ought to know who the other co-founders are. I'm not asking you yet.
I still remember some, okay? I have Attorney Albert Sosa, Attorney Arnel Bernardo, Attorney Ambi Bernardo, then Attorney Bert Paglia, okay? Then, sorry, Your Honor, I can no longer remember. Then, Attorney Omar Di Peralta, I can no longer remember yung others po.
Dean Divino, GP, you're a founder?
I'm not, Mr. Chairman.
Are you a Segundos?
I'm not, Mr. Chairman.
What are you then?
Meaning...
What batch are you?
80s, I joined 86.
Don't tell me you cannot remember
No,
the
that's why I'm
batch.
trying to recall, Mr. Chairman. I joined in 1986,
1986.
That's
And
right.
the fraternity was founded when?
1979.
1979. So you joined about 6 years later.
That's right. 7 years later.
7 years later, yes. Thank you.
Anyway, Senator Zubiri is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
By the way, excuse me, di ba may sister sorority kayo? Yung Regina Legis Juris sorority?
Good evening, Mr. Chair. Yes po.
Yeah, so you confirm. So, alam mo yung mga tinatanong ko kanina, yung mga positions?
I have no personal knowledge po about the positions, Mr. Chair.
There were reports na mayroong mga members ng sorority present during the initiation rites. Would you confirm this?
I received the news po, but nung nalaman ko po yung news, nagtanong po ako sa mga members namin if may alam po sila about the incident. And sabi naman po nila, wala daw po rin silang personal knowledge about that.
Senator Zubiri is recognized. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, sa Manila Police District kay General Coronel, first of all, I'd like to commend the Manila Police District, Manila's finest, for the actions that you've taken. You know, of all the bad publicity that the police has been getting lately, this is a silver lining in the cloud, the dark cloud. So we're hoping that you can follow this through, General. Ang dami pong umasa sa'yo, lalo na yung pamilya ni Acho. General, you mentioned earlier that it was the incident happened in the frat library, at the premises of the frat library. That's confirmed, General.
That is the testimony and the information we have received, Your Honor.
Do you know who owns the frat library, Your Honor?
Based on the information we've gathered, the building is a private structure, and the Aegis Juris Fraternity has been given permission by the owner to use it, Your Honor.
Who is the owner, Mr. Chairman?
Let me check my notes, Your Honor. My investigation, Your Honor. But based on the information that out of the liberality of the owner, that they're allowing the Aegis Juris Fraternity to use that space in that structure, Your Honor.
Key evidence here is to get to get knowledge of who owns, have a knowledge of who owns the building, di ba, General? So, could your personnel immediately tell you who the registered owner of that building is?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm just checking my records, Your Honor. We were able to determine the identity of the owner.
While your staff is looking at the documents on who the ownership of the library is, have you already entered the premises and conducted an investigation, looking for evidences, looking for blood stains, etc., etc.?
Yes, sir. Not yet, Your Honor. We have applied for a search warrant with the Regional Trial Court of Manila last Friday, and the same is scheduled for raffle tomorrow. But in the meantime, we have already secured the premises under guard. We have posted duty personnel to prevent anyone from entering and leaving the premises as we speak, Your Honor.
So you've secured the premises as we speak.
Yes, Your Honor.
And around the area, I can't believe that there are no CCTV cameras around the area of the frat library. Are there establishments there, either than members owned by, or establishments owned by members of aegis juris, that you can actually get CCTV footage?
Directly in front of the flat library, we were not able to get any CCTV recordings, but within the vicinity, Your Honor, we were able to obtain CCTV recordings from the adjacent street and the other thoroughfare leading to that particular address, Your Honor.
So, the vehicles that were parked there overnight, kuha po ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Yung
Nakita po
license
doon.
plates,
Nakita po doon yung vehicles that were used in bringing the remains or the body of Horacio Castillo to the Chinese General Hospital.
That's very good. That's great news for the investigation. Has your personnel finally found out the name?
The facility is owned by a certain Vicente Garcia, Your Honor, based on the information we have gathered.
The building.
Yes, sir. The structure, I'm sorry, sir.
The structure.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the structure, or the frat library, and the structure could be different. You know, when you rent a place out or you buy condominiums, the building may be owned by one personnel, but the structure itself, or the room itself, could be owned by another under a condominium setup. Have
Yes,
you
sir.
checked if that particular frat library had a different owner?
We
Under the
have
register
requested
deeds.
documents regarding the ownership and the tenants of that building, Your Honor. We're just waiting for the results of our verification.
It's very
But we have
important to find out if it's also owned by a member of aegis juris.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor. And so, how about the gentleman, General? How about the gentleman listed on the Immigration Lookout Bulletin? Dinagdagan na po ito, di ba? It was initially 16, 16, at ngayon 20 na.
Yes, sir. 22, Your Honor. 22
I
names.
believe that in one statement of General Bato de la Rosa, that he ordered also the lookout for, or the manhunt for these individuals. Have you gone to these individuals' homes and actually invited them for inquest or investigation?
For those who have addresses as registered with the Office of the University of Santo Tomas, yes, sir, we went to their respective residences, but we were not able to locate them. But to the lookout bulletin, Your Honor, as provided by the school officials, we have submitted the same to the immigration for their appropriate action, Your Honor.
Sayang wala po dito si Secretary Vitaguire. I was hoping that he would be here. Hopefully in the next hearing, Your Honor, if we have one, the Secretary can join
Your Honor,
us.
is represented by the OIC of the National Prosecution Service, PG Catalan. Is he-
Yes, Prosecutor General Catalan, what is the plan of action of the DOJ with this particular case?
Well, for the good evening, Your Honors. For the record and for the information of Your Honors, Mr. Solano was subjected or underwent an inquest proceeding this morning. He's being charged for violation of the anti-hazing law, murder, obstruction of justice, robbery. Now, since an inquest proceeding is summary in nature, we have to resolve the case immediately. We informed the counsels as well as all the witnesses, the parties that we will be resolving the case either today or until tomorrow, Your Honor. Oaths have been administered to all affiants, Your Honor. And of course, if a probable cause would be determined by the handling prosecutor, Prosecutor Susan Villanueva, we will file the necessary corresponding charge. Otherwise, we will set another date for Mr. Solano to file his answer or counter affidavit. And from there, we will submit the case for resolution. and determine whether or not there is a case. If there is, of course, we will file the information before the court, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney. On the issue of those who had left the country, Your Honors, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask the Prosecutor General what steps have they taken for example, Tangria, who had left the country with his parents. Was there action taken by the Department of Justice, DOJ, with the Bureau of Immigration?
As of this time, Your Honor, none yet, because it happened only about a few days ago. But we are intending to prepare an extradition treaty, with regard to extradition treaty, an intention to request if he went to the United States, so the Embassy of the United States to extradite the said person, Your Honor.
I believe that the Secretary, could you confirm this, Prosecutor General? The Secretary had mentioned that he will have the DFA and request the DFA to cancel the passport of the said personality?
Yes, Your Honor. I confirm that.
Thank you.
Fact.
Going back to General Coronel, it's very important, General, na malaman mo yung pagmamayari nitong fraternity library because before I go there, I'd like to ask Dean Divina, are you familiar with the ownership, who owns the Aegis Juris Library?
I'm not aware, Mr. Chairman.
You're a ranking officer of Aegis Jury, or previously a ranking officer of Aegis Juris. Have you utilized that? Have you been to that library?
I've been there about 10 years ago, Mr. Chairman.
10 years ago, you
It was
wouldn't
just
know who owned the library?
a library, Mr. Chairman.
Somebody has to own it, sir. I mean,
But I do not know the owner,
unless
Mr.
it is
Chairman.
the owner, unless it's owned by the university.
I do not know the owner, Mr. Chairman. I've been there about 10 years ago.
I would now like to direct the question to the UST Faculty Secretary, Attorney Capili. This is
sir.
where the crime had happened. You're both lawyers. I'm not a lawyer, but you're both lawyers, and you know the importance of knowing fully well the circumstances surrounding the crime.
Yes, sir.
And the area happened in your library, in the library of your brotherhood. Do you know the owner of that library?
I'm not aware of the ownership of
I hope you're not utilizing your code of silence here, gentlemen.
Yes.
Because, you know, this will define you as members of the fraternity.
Yes,
so
Your
that's very important. And I bring this up, Mr. Chairman, because it is actually under Section 4, and General, napakalaga na makinig po kayo dito, General, because under Section 4, on the penalties, the owner of the place where the hazing is conducted shall be liable as an accomplice when he has actual knowledge of the hazing conducted and failed to take action. So kasama po yan sa batas under the original anti-hazing law. So General, you have to dig deeper and find out who owns the premises.
Yes, Your Honor, we'll do that.
And going back to you, Attorney Capili, no? May I know how much time I have left, Mr. Chairman? Because the clock was not ticking. 3 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the broad of the Aegis Juris and UST Faculty Secretary, I'm sure you're familiar with the recruitment procedures because you are a member of the fraternity. Have there, in the past year, there have been no incidences of victims of hazing by your fraternity? I mean, they recruited, walang problema.
None that I know of, Your Honor.
Yes, but they've recruited through the years, correct? I mean, through the past semesters.
I believe so, Your Honor, because they sometimes would introduce to us that these are new members.
So isn't that not a violation of Section 2, Attorney? That your brotherhood, it's supposed to be no hazing or initiation rites of any form or manner by fraternity or sorority shall be allowed prior to notice of school authorities and heads of organizations 7 days of conduct of such initiation. So clearly your fraternity was violating that section by not letting you know that do they actually submit written notices for their initiation?
Not to the Dean's office, Your Honor, but I'm not sure if they submitted to the Office of the Student Affairs of the university.
Today, we have here, are they here? Are they represented here, Your Honor? Mr. Chairman? Because I believe, if you can correct me if I'm mistaken, Attorney Capili, it is a registered organization, correct?
The Office of Student Affairs can testify as to their accreditation, Your Honor.
Is the gentleman here, can we ask him to take, or the lady, to take her oath and testify in this committee? Mr. Chairman, is that all right?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this investigation? Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, for the record, is the Aegis Juris Fraternity a duly registered organization of the university as of date?
Not this school year, Your Honor.
Not this school year.
Not this
but
school year.
According to the testimony of Attorney Capili, that there have been new recruits that have happened in the past year. Have they ever sent a notice of any initiation or welcoming rights?
None, Your Honor.
Have you sent representatives to any of their initiation rights?
No, Your Honor.
So clear violation of Section 2 of the anti-hazing law.
Yes.
So I hope the university takes the proper
Yes,
action,
we will.
Your Honor.
Yes.
And just a few questions left, Mr. Chairman, on the law itself. Senator Joey Lina is here. Your Honor, I'd like to recognize the principal author of the law. I don't have much time, so I'm just going to ask a few questions. Senator Lina, it's an honor for us to have you. You're a very distinguished public servant. I'm sure you had the best of intentions passing the law in 1995 after the Lenny Villa case. The facts have it. The problem there, Mr. Chairman, is that the facts have shown that after 22 years, only one case conviction, and a lot of legal loopholes have been cited. What do you think happened, Senator Lina?
It's a question of the entire criminal justice system, Mr. Senator. A law is only as good as it is enforced or implemented. This Republic Act 8049 was precisely crafted by the 9th Congress to address a gap in our legal system. What is that gap? There is no crime called hazing, whether under the revised penal code or under the special laws. The decision in Villarreal versus People of the Philippines clearly pointed that out. That case of Lenny Villa, and within the year of the death of Lenny Villa, 6 deaths were also reported. But very clearly, the court in the Villarreal versus People of the Philippines stated that had there been the anti-hazing law, the accused in the Lenny Villa case would have been punished, because prior to the Republic Act 8049, the cases that can be filed against those who are involved in hazing, which was not yet a crime at the time, would be murder, homicide, serious physical injuries, less serious physical injuries, or slight physical injuries. And when I was chairman of the Senate Youth and Sports Committee, I saw that it would be very difficult, extremely difficult, to identify, charge, and punish those who are involved in hazing, because you have to prove, number one, intent to commit a wrong. Among the legal, those who follow legal studies would know that intent For example, in murder or homicide, serious physical injuries and other forms of injuries, you have to prove intent. Number two, we have to prove that the person accused was the one who inflicted the injury, whether it resulted in physical or serious, in physical or psychological injury, even death. The individual persons or accused would be the ones that have to be meted with the penalty. And in Villarreal versus People of the Philippines, precisely the court said the conspiracy that the regional trial court said existed was not proven. So the regional trial court erred in sentencing the persons who were involved in the Lenny Villa case for murder. The only decision was reclusion, rather reckless imprudence resulting to homicide, with only a penalty of 4 months to 4 years and 2 days. So this present law has an underlying shift in philosophy. We will not charge anymore the persons accused in hazing under the revised penal code. It will be under a special law. And this is the special law. The objective is for the prosecution and the police not to prove anymore the intent to kill. Number two, the penalty was increased higher than the penalty imposed under the revised penal code. And this Republic Act 8049, according to the Supreme Court in Dungo versus People of the Philippines, says that the law is strong enough. And I'm giving you my presentation. I would like to have it into the record. In short, we may be barking up the wrong tree. Is it the law, or is it the way the law is being implemented? In the first place, it's really very difficult, Mr. Chairman, to prove hazing. And it is much more difficult to prove murder or homicide or serious physical injuries. Because in fraternities or other organizations, you have to really prove one by one who inflicted the fatal blows. Individual culpability. But in the anti-hazing law now, mere presence in the hazing venue, if it is established that a person, and you can use the standard in Dungo versus People of the Philippines, because this is where the threat men were convicted. And on a personal note, the UP College of Law students who asked for my assistance in the year 2000, I think 2006, they asked for my assistance on how to go about this case that they are helping in Calamba, Laguna. So I told them, this is what you have to gather. This is the evidence that you need. You don't have to prove that the persons accused were the ones who inflicted the injury. You just have to establish their presence in the venue where the hazing was conducted. And they can only exculpate themselves if they did something to prevent the commission of the crime. So that's how strong this law is. And the aggravating circumstance, special qualifying circumstance, Mr. Chairman, when I slap somebody, or I pinch somebody, and it's in connection with the hazing, if it is done outside the school, then the penalty is the maximum. What is the maximum penalty under the special law? It is life imprisonment. That's how strong this law is. And the Supreme Court in Dungo versus People of the Philippines took note of that. Now, if there had been You see the Lenny Villa case, 1991. It was decided year 2012. And the 35 accused, most of them went scot-free because precisely the quantum of evidence to pinpoint the responsibility of the accused is much is greater. You have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. But under this special law, there is a disputable presumption. So, is the law being implemented? Are the police collecting the evidence? Is the fiscal filing the correct information? Is the court knowledgeable about the law? There is a judge in Cavite, Your Honor, who was dismissed for ignorance of the anti-hazing law.
Thank you very much, Senator Lina. Well said.
I'll wrap
And
up, maybe allowed to wrap up lang, Chairman.
yeah.
My apologies
Thank
to
you for the enlightenment. Thank you.
Unfortunately, Senator Lina, as I said, no numbers can't lie. Right now, there's only one case of conviction after several deaths. And maybe it's because we should change just the title alone, the fundamental title alone, an act regulating hazing. We should change it to an act banning, completely prohibiting hazing and hazing and initiation rights. Anyway, in closing, Mr. Chairman, in closing...
But that's very important. That point raised by Senator Subiri is very important. Unfortunately, when one interprets a law, one should not just read the title. Among lawyers, it's very clear the title of the law is not the law itself.
Yes.
You have to read the entire law, the
Yes,
provisions of the law.
Senator, I'm sorry,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I really have very
your
short
last
time,
30
and I'd just like
seconds.
to have a manifestation to
Senator
Dean Divina. Dean, this case, under your watch, shall define you not as a lawyer, because we all know you're a brilliant lawyer, Dean, but it will define you as a human being, as a parent, as a father. If this happened to your child, you know what I'm talking about. We're both fathers here. Please help the authorities, assist them and the family to ferret out the truth regardless of who gets hurt.
Mr. Chairman, yes, I'm fully committed to ferret out the truth, and I'll make sure the perpetrators are brought to justice, even though they're my brothers.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Gatchalian is recognized. Thank you, Senator Subiri.
Maraming salamat, Chairman. And let me just ask a few questions kay Mr. Solano. John, sa ngayon, ikaw ang link, no, between, ikaw lang palang, no, ang link between kay Acho at sa katotohanan. At sana, no, ninanais namin na tulungan mo kami, no, tulungan mo ang bansang Pilipinas maghanap ng katotohanan at hustisya, no, para kay Acho. May mga ilang katanungan ako. Member ka ba ng fraternity na ito?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Kailan ka naging member?
August 2016 po, Your Honor.
2016?
2015. My apologies po.
August of 2015. Sino ang nag-recruit sa'yo? Natatandaan mo ba? Siyempre, natatandaan mo. That's only 2 years ago. August of 2015, tama? O 2016?
2015 po, Your Honor.
2015, that's 2 years ago. Sino ba nag-recruit sa'yo?
Your Honor, I was recruited by also a neophyte that time, my classmate.
Anong pangalan niya?
His name is Mr. Dash Tanchoco.
Anong pangalan?
Dash Tanchoco po.
Dash Tanchoco.
Opo.
Ano siya? Mas kasing edad mo lang? Mas matanda? Alumni? Ano pa siya? Officer?
He is my classmate po. Same age as me, Your Honor.
So ilang taong ka na?
27 po, Your Honor.
So 27 rin siya?
Yes po.
Nung ikaw rin-recruit, dumaan ka rin ba sa hazing? Pwede mo naman sabihin, yes or no lang naman yan, di ba? Kung no, di no. No? Dumaan ka ba sa hazing o hindi?
Yes po.
Dumaan ka sa hazing?
Yes, Your Honor.
At si Dash, andoon siya yung ginagawa to sa'yo.
He was also a neophyte that time, my batchmate,
So
Your
dumaan
Honor.
rin siya sa hazing.
Yes po, Your Honor.
So kayong dalawa dumaan sa hazing.
Yes po.
Saan ginawa tong hazing na ito?
Your Honor, I think I should remain silent on that question. With all due respect po.
Sa frat house ba? Sa ibang dito ba sa frat library?
But that I affirm not in the frat library, Your Honor.
Ay, hindi ginawa sa frat library.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yung mga gumawa sa iyo nitong hazing ay nandoon rin sa mga gumawa kay Acho.
Not in my personal knowledge, Your Honor, because that time I was not there. I was the last one. So the people that I would be naming on my affidavit, I do not know if their principal
diba,
position.
Tinawagan ka, pumunta ka doon, nakita mo si Acho, walang malay, tama?
Yes, Your Honor.
May mga tao doon, tama?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yung mga taong yun, andun rin ba nung ginawa sa yung hazing?
Your Honor, not in my personal knowledge because I cannot see the faces during the whole period po, Your Honor.
So nung ginagawa sa yung hazing, naka-blindfold ka?
I was looking at the floor, Your Honor, honestly.
You were looking at the floor. So
Yes, Your Honor.
Hindi mo mamukaan kung
Yes,
sino
Your
sila.
Honor.
Okay. Bakit ka sumali ng fraternity?
Honestly po, Your Honor, I was just I'm a impulsive type of guy. So whether you ask me, I always say yes.
So tumalong ka na lang nung in-invite ka ni Dash?
Yes, Your Honor.
At alam mo ba na magkakaroon ng hazing?
No, Your Honor.
Hindi mo alam?
No.
Bakit ka naman pumayag pa nung nalaman mo may hazing?
Out of palabra de honor po, Your Honor.
Tinuloy mo na lang dahil nagkahiyaan na?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kailan ka nag-aral sa UST?
Same date po, August 2015 po.
Anong time frame when you were in UST?
First year, first sem po.
So what year is that? What year was that?
August 2015.
So August 2015, and then you left?
On the same semester po. I was that was April 2016 I left UST.
So isang taong ka lang sa UST?
Not exactly po. I filed an leave of absence. Yes.
Let me just remind you na mag-consult ka sa lawyer. Baka amin ka ng amin. Makasuhan ka. Baka
it's a personal knowledge naman po. So it's okay na po.
Sige, it's up
Thank
to
you, Your Honor.
It's up to you. Hindi pa prescribed. Kami prescribed na. Kami na Chief Superintendent Coronel. More than 20 years. Saka wala pang batas nung hinihis kami. So you better
yes, Your
think
Honor.
about your answers first, ha?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you po.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Chair. So kailan ka na sa UST?
I was at UST...
The year lang, a year, month and year. So makita lang natin in time frame.
August 2015. Until April 2016 po.
August 2015 to August 2016. And you underwent hazing noong August 2015 when you joined UST.
Yes,
The
Your
first
Honor.
month you joined the school.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Were you an active member of the fraternity?
No, Your Honor, because I was just... I entered the fraternity because of palabra de honor, Your Honor.
Yun lang.
Yes, Your Honor.
When you were with the fraternity, nakilala mo ba si Dean Divina?
Before I joined the fraternity, I already know Dean Divina.
But have you nakilala mo siya during your stint in the fraternity? Nung aktibo ka sa fraternity, nakilala mo siya? Nagkaroon ba ka, at least nakamayan mo?
No, Your Honor, no.
So wala kang interaction with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
How about the other school officials, faculty?
No, Your Honor. I think they're a higher year
So
professors.
wala kang nakilala dito sa mga nakaupo o nakamayan o nakausap?
I think, no, Your Honor. Not in my knowledge.
Wala kang nakausap doon. Yung, let's go to ito tong text message na release ng ating chairman, no? Anong oras ka tinext?
They did not text me, they called me.
They called you, anong oras yun?
Around 6:30 in the morning, the first call.
First call is 6:30 in the morning. And sino yung tumawag sa'yo?
A frat member po, Your Honor.
Anong pangalan niya?
I would name the person on my affidavit po, Your Honor, with all due respect po.
So 6:30 siya, nasaan ka nun nung tumawag siya sa'yo?
I was on the comfort of my bed at home.
Saan yun?
On my residence po, it's in Caloocan City.
Sa Caloocan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Meron bang anong comfort? Natutulog ka?
Yes, I was sleeping that time.
Meron bang nakakita sa'yo kung natutulog ka?
I was sleeping with my girlfriend, Your Honor.
So, mayroon kang katabi? No?
Yes,
Kaya
Your
palang
Honor.
comfortable ka.
No, that is incriminating.
Sorry, Mr. Chair.
My apologies po, Your Honor.
So, your girlfriend can testify you were indeed at home?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ano oras ka umalis nung bahay para puntahan si Acho?
That was around 7:30 or 7:40 in the morning.
7:30 or 7:40?
Yes, Your Honor.
Umalis ka na?
Yes, Your Honor.
To see him?
Yes, Your Honor.
But dito sa text, dito sa what the chairman said, at 9:11 a.m., they were still looking for your number. Hindi pa nila alam yung number mo eh, ano? Yan ba number niya sa akin? Pa-check pero si OJ ang tumawag kanina. Pwede hingin po ang number ni Popoy. Ikaw ba si Popoy?
That's my nickname po, Your Honor.
So ikaw si Popoy?
But that I cannot confirm if they were texting me.
Hinihingi nila yung number ni Popoy, ibinigay yung number ni Popoy, si Popoy ang nag-appear doon sa bangkay ni Acho. Tama?
Your Honor, actually, I do not have personal knowledge on that message, Your Honor.
But in any case, 7:30 ka umalis, but I'm just saying, by 9:11 from this text, hindi pa nila alam kung hinahanap pa lang nila yung number mo.
Your Honor, I cannot comment because I do not have personal knowledge on that matter, Your Honor.
In any case, nung pagdating mo doon, si Acho, anong kalagayan niya?
Your Honor, he is unconscious po.
But was he alive? Was he dead? Anong kalagayan niya?
Your Honor, I cannot confirm dead person because I am not a doctor.
So he was just anong natagpuan mo? Nakahiga,
He was
nakaupo?
lying on the floor, Your Honor.
He was lying on the floor. But
Yes, Your
was he
Honor.
breathing at least? Ayun, madedetermine. You said you're a medical technologist.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ilan taong ka nag-aral ng medical technologist?
4.5 years.
So at least you have some form of medical knowledge.
Yes, Your Honor.
So was he even humihinga pa siya o hindi? No, ganun kasimple lang.
I can confirm that he is not breathing when I came, Your Honor.
So nung pagdating mo doon, di na siya humihinga.
Yes, Your Honor.
So ibig sabihin patay na siya.
I cannot confirm, so more or less, I don't know, Your Honor.
Okay. Anong oras mo siya hinatid sa Chinese Gen? Do you remember?
That time, Your Honor, when we were ready to go to Chinese Gen, I have no knowledge on the time.
Anong oras ka nilang dumating sa Chinese Gen?
Around 9 o'clock or 9:10 to 9:15, Your Honor.
9
I'm
o'clock?
pretty much not sure.
Mga 9, more or less lang.
More or less 9 o'clock to 9:15 in the morning.
9 o'clock to 9:10. And bakit hindi ka nagsabi ng totoo?
Your Honor, They told me to tell that story, Your Honor.
And then, bakit mo man sila sinundan?
I was very like rattled that time, Your Honor. I am very confused on what to do. So I just followed, Your Honor.
So sinundan mo lang. Sino yung nagsabi magsinungaling ka?
A frat member, Your Honor.
Anong
That's
pangalan
also on
niya?
my
Anong
affidavit.
pangalan niya?
With all due respect, Your Honor, I would invoke my right to be silent.
All right. But I think in due time you said that you will execute an affidavit.
Yes, Your Honor, I have one prepared already.
Okay. And you will state the names.
Yes, Your Honor, I will. I already stated the names of those people on my affidavit.
Okay. To the representative from DOJ, sir, no, you issued a lookout order. Is that correct, attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that included the name of Mr. Jason Adolfo Rubinos. Is that correct?
Can I look it up, Your Honor, in our records? Here, Your Honor, we have a copy of the lookout order and the revised immigration lookout bulletin order has 20 persons or personalities.
Is the name
that were submitted.
Jason Adolfo Rubinos included in that
Yes,
list?
Your Honor. He is number 17 in the lookout order.
Bakit ho siya na-include?
This lookout order, Your Honor, was only given to me this afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay.
And it was signed by the Secretary, Italiano
Alright.
Aguirre.
Mr. Jason Rubinos is present with us right now. I have a few questions, sir. Nag-aaral pa, you mentioned earlier, nag-aaral pa kayo sa UST?
Good evening, Your Honor. Yes, Sir. I'm on my 5th year sa UST Civil Law.
Sa civil law. This is under the...
Senator Gatchalian, 1 minute.
1 minute. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Quick lang, I'll wrap up. Itong school is under the jurisdiction of Dean Divina. Tama po ba? Divina.
Dean Divina, yes, Your Honor.
Sa school niya ikaw ang nag-aaral.
Yes, yes. Hindi po sa school niya kasi UST po.
I mean sa college.
Sa civil law po.
Sa
Yes,
civil
Your
of
Honor.
The college of which he is
The dean.
The dean. Okay. Are you a member of the frat?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm a member of the fraternity.
Okay. And did you how long have you been a member of the frat?
I was a member since 2013 when I was a first year law student at the Faculty of Civil Law.
2013. Kailan ka pumasok doon sa school?
2013.
So ganun rin. Pumasok ka sa school, sumali ka ng frat immediately.
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
Did you undergo hazing also?
No, Your Honor.
So hindi ka
Kindly ask your last question.
yes,
Your
hindi ka
time
na
is up.
subject to hazing.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Chair, I'll reserve my other questions for the second round. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The minority leader is recognized.
At last, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. I'd like to raise the question to Mr. Solano. Did I hear you correctly, Popoy, that you are now subjected to inquest proceedings?
Yes, Your Honor, earlier this morning po.
So may inquest na. Bakit? Kailan ka ba na-aresto? Because an inquest proceeding is when you are arrested. And considering that it's a capital offense, from the time of arrest, you have to be charged within 36 hours. Kailan ka na-aresto?
Your Honor, I was not arrested. Can my lawyer answer for me? Because it's a legal... I was voluntary surrender.
So, paano ka nagkaroon ng inquest kung, anyway, kung nag-voluntary surrender ka, inquest proceeding is not proper kung nag-surrender ka to my recollection of my rules as Secretary of the Rules, so when I was Secretary of Justice. Maybe your counsel can help us. Attorney Paterno, is that...
Your Honor, okay. This morning, an inquest proceeding proceeded. Okay. In that inquest proceeding, I manifested and objected to the inquest proceeding because the case is not covered by inquest because the accused was not arrested by virtue of warrantless arrest or by virtue of warrant. Okay. And in anticipation of that inquest proceeding, this morning, right after the filing of the complaint, I also filed an omnibus motion, okay, questioning the inquest proceeding on the ground that it's not proper, it's illegal, it is a violation of Mr. Solano's right to preliminary investigation. What we are requesting is that a preliminary investigation be conducted and that he be given opportunity to submit his counter affidavit so that we can resolve this issue as soon as possible because we are ready to file our counter affidavit. And then we were also surprised that the offense that was filed is not only violation of anti-hazing law, but also murder, robbery, and obstruction of justice. Because we found out last Saturday that they are going to file murder. We also anticipated on that. So on our omnibus motion, one of the grounds that we raised for the outright dismissal of the case is that you cannot file a complex crime of mala inse and mala prohibita because cases covered by revised penal code like robbery, murder, they are crime mala inse. While case covered by anti-hazing law, it's a case mala prohibita, it's a special law. And as said by Justice Florence Regalado, a well-known authority in criminal law, retired, there can be no complex crime of mala inse and mala prohibita. That's why we requested for outright dismissal of the case and for the release of Mr. Solano. And in that...
let me interrupt you there. For the release of Mr. Solano, you are willing to go through a preliminary investigation?
Not only that, Your Honor, in the omnibus motion, which is verified, we made an undertaking there that Mr. Solano will voluntarily appear in the preliminary investigation. Should he fails to appear, the prosecutor can consider as deemed forfeited and waive his right to preliminary investigation. So that is a show of good faith. Okay? So that's why I was requesting the prosecutor if they can release Mr. Solano. Because if, Your Honor, they will proceed in that inquest proceeding and they will file the necessary information on the following day or whatever, definitely we will file the necessary action going up to the Supreme Court and it will delay the proceeding.
Yes. Now, may I hear from the Department of Justice, given this development?
Yes, Your Honor.
Apparently, Mr. Solano, I think it can be verified that he was not arrested. So how can...
Yes, Your Honor, we would admit that Mr. Solano voluntarily surrendered to the proper authorities. There appears to be an affidavit, Your Honor, but this affidavit refers to the offense of perjury and obstruction, Your Honor, which are not inquestable, Your Honor. What I mentioned a while ago, Your Honor, is that inquest proceeding is summary in nature, and we will resolve the case either today or up to tomorrow. We have not yet resolved it.
No, but on the basis of of the established fact that Mr. Solano was not arrested, but he surrendered, how can your inquest proceeding stand?
Precisely, Your Honor. Although we are dealing on the merits of the case,
No, we're not dealing on the merits of the issue. We're dealing on the procedure
Yes,
that is
Your Honor,
being followed,
procedural.
not on the merits. Because I'm just raising the issue of whether or not this is a proper, inquestable investigation.
But as of now, Your Honor, I would not comment whether or not Mr. Solano would immediately be released. Then...
No, I'm not saying that he should be released. What I'm just saying is, you admit that he was not arrested, that he surrendered.
We would confirm that, Your Honor,
Yes,
that he
if
was not arrested.
If he was not arrested and surrendered, is an inquest investigation proper?
If I may comment on that, Your
Please,
Honor,
that's fine.
that would not be proper in the first place.
Okay. So
That
it
would
is
be
not
not proper.
proper. So there, we already have a problem.
That is precisely the reason, Your Honor, why we will resolve the case immediately, probably tomorrow. And we will be dealing with the procedural aspect also regarding this issue, Your Honor.
One of the shortcomings of our criminal justice system is the erroneous procedure that we followed. That's why nawawalan ng visa yung mga sampa ng demanda kasi mali-mali yung pinafile. Oh. Now, here in this particular case, you admit that this is not a proper inquest case because Solano voluntarily surrendered.
Yes, Your Honor. There is an affidavit of conveyance, I think, Your Honor.
Now, given this, Attorney Paterno, given what you heard from the what's her name again?
Acting Catalan, Your Honor.
Acting Prosecutor General Catalan, can you now allow the committee access to the affidavit that you're about to submit?
Your Honor, as much as I want to present the affidavit, I have to be candid, Your Honor. I have not yet read the very voluminous complaint that was submitted this morning because from DOJ, I waited here around to attend this hearing, Your Honor. So
Who made the complaint?
Who
filed the complaint?
As I see it, there is a complaint prepared by the MPD, Your Honor, and there is also another set of voluminous document supposed to be supplemental complaint affidavit of the spouses Castillo. I have not yet read, Your Honor, all those papers, Your Honor.
So, okay, so we are in this situation where apparently there is something that can be argued against an inquest proceedings, and therefore the matter of the affidavit which counsel has advised not to be submitted would have to be submitted if a preliminary investigation is conducted. Is that correct? Huh?
Correct, Your Honor. And if I may add, Your Honor, the private complainants also submitted a supplemental or additional complaint, which would make this inquest proceeding be resolved, but the resolution would be for further investigation. So we will set up the date probably for the preliminary investigation, wherein the respondent would be required to file his counter affidavit or answer, Your Honor.
All right. So
I was not at the liberty on divulging this issue because it has yet to be resolved. But then, Your Honor, the resolution would be
forthcoming.
What I've been
It will be
mentioned
forthcoming, as you have mentioned,
Yes, Your
as a
Honor.
legal issue, as a legal
Yes, Your Honor.
solution. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, let me now address Mr. Horacio Castillo. I hear your plea, sir, to please strengthen the anti-hazing law. And indeed, with all due respect to my good friend, Mr. Attorney Joey Lina, I think there is really need to examine Republic Act 8049. And particularly because, as Senator Subiri said earlier, the title says regulating hazing. Section 2, in fact, in my reading of the law, with all due respect, allows hazing. except that you have to submit a written notice. Very clear. It says, no hazing or initiation rights in any form or manner by any fraternity, sorority, or organization shall be allowed without prior written notice to the school authorities or head organization 7 days before the conduct of such initiation. This can be interpreted as submitting a written notice to the school authorities by the fraternity 7 days before and conduct the initiation. Now, hazing that happens there is punishable because it is an act of either death, etc. But the initiation itself will be allowed. If nothing happens in the initiation, it is not prohibited. What I think the one way to review this is to find out, as suggested by Senator Subiri, whether we will prohibit outright, altogether, initiations, which includes hazing. And it is in that case that we should focus our attention as in aid of legislation, given all this testimony that we have heard tonight. And I think there is really, it is unfortunate that it has the death of Acho has made it necessary for us. We had hoped that it would not have happened that way. But nandyan na po yan, ang ating pong, sabi nga kanina ni Mr. Castillo, sana po we will have to strengthen the law so that this will not be repeated, so that there will be fear in the hearts of our fraternities. Ako, aaminin ko, kami ni Senator Gordon, kami po na haze. We were subject of hazing. But we are willing to admit it because it's more than 50 years ago. So it has prescribed. Hindi na po pwedeng sampahan yung aming mga pati si, but having said that, all right, I will put Nilo here, Dean Divina, in a very difficult position. If you had an opportunity to amend Republic Act 8049 as a member of a fraternity, inactive as you may be, but being steeped in law, what would you suggest should the amendment be?
Mr. Chairman, I agree that it should be banned completely. There are many ways of determining the resolve of a neophyte to join the fraternity without being subjected to hazing.
So in your view,
it should be completely and totally prohibited or banned, Mr. Chairman.
Hazing or initiation?
Hazing as defined by law, Mr. Chairman, as currently defined by law. But initiation that does not cause psychological harm or injury or physical injury to the neophyte should be allowed because there are many ways of determining the resolve of a neophyte to join the fraternity.
So you're saying allow initiation but not hazing?
Allow initiation but without subjecting the neophyte to psychological and physical harm or injury, Mr. Chairman.
Alam mo, when we get to that point, it's a dangerous slope. Hindi ba? Enforcement of that rule becomes questionable in my mind. And like you, Dean, like Senator Gordon, like Senator Lacson, we all went through this in our younger days. And we know what happens during initiation rites, during the rites when you go through hazing. It is a slippery slope the moment you allow initiation that could lead precisely to incidents, unfortunate incidents such as this. May I have your views again, Mr. Dean Divina?
I was thinking, Mr. Chairman, the neophyte undergoing a series of quote-unquote indoctrination classes or sessions on loyalty, on brotherhood, on integrity. This can be part of initiation rites, but without being subjected to, as I said, psychological harm or causing physical injury.
Okay. One final attempt on Attorney Paterno, can you not entrust to Senator Lacson the affidavit that you are supposed to submit? Since in so many, practically the Department of Justice has stated that your client will be allowed to submit the counter affidavit and on an ordinary preliminary investigation and not an inquest proceedings, which means that you will be given every opportunity to submit this counter affidavit.
Your Honor, as much as I want to do it, Your Honor, because they have filed, as I said, a very voluminous cases, robbery, homicide, I have first to read all those. Actually, and that can be attested by from the MPD. Our agreement, Your Honor, is we are supposed to file that sworn statement, okay, to show good faith. Although we have not yet seen the complaint, okay, I already decided, and Popoy knows it, we are going to submit the complaint on or before the sworn statement of Popoy on or before 11 a.m. yesterday. On or before. That's my undertaking with the MPD. And because of that discovery, that they are going to file murder and other cases, at 9 p.m. I sent 2 letters to MPD, one at 7 p.m. of Saturday and another at 9 p.m. It was personally received there by Captain, the captain in charge of the homicide, telling them that because of that discovery that they are going to file murder, I am now withdrawing my undertaking to them to submit that sworn statement on the following day, 11 a.m. And I also, in that the same letter, I informed them that I am revoking, Mr. Solano is revoking the waiver of detention that he executed. And we are requesting for twice in that letter, we repeated that we are requesting that he should not be subjected to inquest. There must be a preliminary investigation.
You know, the reason why I keep on bringing this out is I relied on your earlier statement that you will tell the whole truth and reveal all the names. I mean, your client, Mr. Solano, will reveal all the names. And this can bring faster justice to Mr. Castillo and his family. Mas mabilis po kung mailabas natin ang mga pangalan nitong kasama sa nangyari. Sinabi niyo po na you will tell all. And this will be contained in the counter affidavit that you were about to file until until you know there was a charge and inquest proceeding took place. We are after the truth here, and you, as I will repeat, you have heard the Prosecutor General saying in so many words na medyo hindi tama yung inquest proceeding, and it will be a regular preliminary investigation. In a regular preliminary investigation, you will be submitting this affidavit which contains all the names. As you said, you want to tell the truth.
Incidentally, your time is up, but the chair is willing to give you an extra 2 minutes to pursue your point, of course, with the permission of Senator Ontiveros and Senator Gordon. Please go ahead.
Yes. So, yun lang because we can serve the wheels of justice faster if we know, if we have a sworn statement coming from a very vital witness, Mr. Solano, that ito po, sila po ang responsable dito. And so the appropriate proceedings, preliminary investigation can be conducted, and the case can be filed in court. I'm sure a probable cause can be established immediately. And the truth can, and justice can be served faster if the counter affidavit is made available. May we have again the views of Attorney Paterno? We are making this appeal.
As I said earlier, Your Honor, I have yet to read the voluminous complaint, Your Honor. As much as I want to accede and to the request, Your Honor, because I do not know what is the implication, what are those allegations in relation to the draft affidavit that we have already prepared, Your Honor.
Even if the committee will grant your client legislative immunity, meaning that anything that he testifies in this committee cannot be used against him, still you are not willing to
First,
provide?
Your Honor, to read because they charge murder, which is a very heinous crime, robbery, then obstruction of
We
justice.
will not force you. That's your call. We're just suggesting because we're after ferreting out the truth, ano? And yun lang naman ang gusto ng committee in aid of legislation. But if you really insist on not submitting, then we'll not force you.
What I can promise, Your Honor, is once I read it and there is no legal implication on that,
There's no legal implication because the committee is willing to grant your client legislative immunity.
No, Your
Meaning,
Honor.
anything that he says in his affidavit to be submitted to this committee cannot be used against him. It's just between your client and the committee. Para lang makita namin yung nilalaman at makita namin yung totoo, para makapaggawa kami ng tamang legislation to amend RA 80.49.
I'll first study, Your Honors.
Anyway, sige. Senator Rizal Taveros is recognized.
Salamat, Mr. Chairman. Magandang gabi po, Dean Divina. Kailan po ba nagsimula ang hazing sa Aegis Juris?
I really wouldn't know, Your Honor.
Sabi niyo po kanina, 1979 itinatag yung fraternity. Sa institutional memory nyo sa sarili nyong frat, kailan nyo unang alam o nababalitaan na hinihaze ang mga neophytes?
When I joined the fraternity, Mr. Chairman, I was also subjected to hazing.
Yun nga yung isang susunod na itatanong ko sa inyo. So, noon pong sumali kayo nung 1986, hinaze po kayo. Kailan nga ulit pinasa yung anti-hazing law? That was
1995.
95. So pagkatapos na po na sumapi kayo sa fraternity, pagkatapos na po na hinaze din kayo by your own narration, anong measures ang pinatupad ninyo sa loob ng inyong fraternity para magsiguro ng compliance sa batas? May nagbago ba sa kalakalan sa Aegis Juris?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. After 2 years, I became a member of the Concilium, is the governing body of the fraternity, and I was able to convince the officers to remove hazing. I was able to convince, for example, to remove paddle as part of the initiation rites. I said, let's concentrate on determining the resolve of the neophyte through other means. For example, in my time, we required them to prepare case digests, and during initiation rite, instead of subjecting them to physical injury, we would ask them, for example, to memorize the preamble, quote the preamble, the Bill of Rights. If they make a mistake, one push-up. But we completely removed paddling during when I became a member of the Concilium, Mr. Chairman.
So naging member po kayo ng Concilium
2 years after
2 years after, or
I joined the fraternity.
88.
That's
and
right.
then nag-initiate kayo ng ganitong mga
Changes, Mr. Chairman.
changes to ensure compliance, pagbabago ng kalakaran.
Even at that time, there was no anti-hazing law. I am anti-violence. That's why I proposed those measures. And good thing I was able to convince the officers of the Concilium to effect significant changes in the manner they conduct the initiation.
So kailan po at paano nagsimula ulit yung hazing sa kabila nitong pagkumbinsi nyo sa Concilium?
I wouldn't know anymore, Mr. Chairman, because I stopped attending initiation rites after I reached 4th year in law school. It's 1989.
Sabi niyo rin po kanina din na banned ang hazing sa UST. Ibig niyo pong sabihin bilang university policy, tama po ba yun?
University and Faculty of Civil Law Policy, Your
And
Honor.
Faculty of Civil Law Policy. And yet, sabi ni Popoy, sabi ni Mr. Solano, hinaze siya. And obviously, hinaze si Atyo hanggang sa ikamatay niya. So, ibig pong bang sabihin, may kahinaan sa UST policy enforcement?
One incident, Your Honor, doesn't mean weakness of the policy. There is a policy, and we said if there is a violation, sanctions will be imposed, have been imposed, will be imposed. So I think one isolated incident should not be construed to mean weakness of the policy.
Ito po'y one known violation. Pero sabi niyo rin kanina in response dun sa tanong ng isa pang kasamang senador that a year or 2 years ago, merong pong frat rumble involving Aegis Juris at isa pang UST law fraternity. Hindi po ba yan isang halimbawa din ng kahinaan sa policy enforcement?
That's not hazing po, ma'am. Again, sanctions were imposed on the responsible members of the fraternities.
Salamat din,
Senator
Divina.
Risa?
Yes, Chair.
I'm sorry, but I'm tempted to show again the visual na pinakita ko sa preliminary statement.
Yung
Andiyan na. Kasi kung pinagbawal niyo po yung paddling, mukhang hindi kayo sinunod.
I
Kasi paddle nga yung symbol ninyo, nakasulat, Aegis Juris. Kung titingnan po natin yung nasa gitna, mukhang yung katabi nyo dyan. Kayo po ba yan, Attorney Pabella?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yung may hawak na paddle?
Yes, Your Honor. That's one of the commemorative item in one of our anniversaries.
So why would you use a paddle as a commemorative item?
Your Honor, we have not experienced that in my batch. That is after, that's between 2000 and 2004. So
Isn't this encouraging the use of paddle?
but we are not using that, Your Honor. So
But
it's
why
just,
use paddle as a symbol?
that's the traditional symbol of fraternity, Your Honor. That's why that is just used. We have a lot of symbols, Your Honor, for the
Sana
fraternity.
yun na lang ibang symbols. Hindi na yung paddle. Sabi nga ni Din Divina, sabi niya, pinrohibit niya yung paddling. Paddle naman yung naka-display. So, how would you reconcile yung kanyang kagustuhan na mag-prohibit ng paddling, paddle naman yung hawak-hawak ninyo?
Yes, Your Honor. If I remember correctly, Your Honor, this happened also after.
May pinapalo pa sa buttocks,
That's also symbolic, Your Honor.
symbolic nga
Yes.
What do you mean by symbolic?
Again, Your Honor, because we did not experience that in our batch, so we don't.
So, you were wishing at the time
No, Your Honor.
that you would have been paddled.
No, Your Honor. That's not what I mean.
Anyway, thank you, Senator Risa.
Thank you, Chairman. And I would agree with the Chairman, yung simbolo, hindi simbolo lang Symbols are very, very powerful sa anumang kultura to shape or to change our beliefs and our behavior. Mula po kay Dean Divina, kay Mr. Solano. So fast forward 3 decades since 1986. Kayo po, anong taon kayo uli sumali sa Aegis Juris?
2015 po.
So, almost 30 years later. Kayo ba dumaan din sa hazing? Sabi nyo kanina, oo.
If you would consider if you would consider like mentally, what do you call that, ginugulo as a hazing, yes, because we consider that one as
Sir
hazing.
Solano,
Mentally tortured?
alam natin pare-pareho, Senator Drilon, Senator Gordon, alam naman namin na hindi totoo yung sinasabi mo.
Pinalo ba kayo, Mr. Solano?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hindi ba hazing yan? Pinatakan po ba kayo ng tunaw na wax ng kandila?
Not that I can remember, Your Honor.
So bukod po sa pinalo kayo, at anong ginamit sa pagpalo sa inyo? Paddle ba?
That I cannot recall, Your Honor.
Dahil nakatingin kayo sa sahig?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pero anong pakiramdam? Kamao ba o paddle? Laman
Seems
ba o
flat,
kahoy?
Your Honor. seems flat.
Ano po?
It's like flat.
Flat.
I cannot
So,
confirm if it's
parang
wood
paddle.
or yes.
Oh, kasi kung ganyan lang, parang sampal lang yan, hindi naman palo, no? Hindi suntok. Ano pa ang ginawa sa inyo nung hinaze kayo?
Okay, it started like mental torture, Your Honor, and then slapping, Your Honor.
So, bate po sa karanasan ninyo, Mr. Solano, karaniwang karanasan po ito ng mga neophytes.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, karaniwan pong ginagawa sa mga neophytes. Kanina po sabi ninyo, wala kayo nung hazing kay Atyo. Pero, bukod doon, naging bahagi ba kayo sa ibang mga hazing, sa ibang mga neophytes?
No, Your Honor, I disapprove in the hazing process, Your Honor.
3 hours ago po, at nag-refer na rin dito si Sen. Frank Rilon kanina. Pero 3 hours ago, sa isang news article, nanumpa kayo to tell all. So bakit po mayat-maya kanina, in the past few hours, nag-invoke kayo nung your right to remain silent?
Because,
bakit hindi pa kayo nagte-tell all
sorry.
dito sa hearing na ito?
Your Honor, because I was supposed to tell all, like everything. But since we discovered that I was filed charges, multiple charges, I think I should invoke my right to be silent, Your Honor.
So, kailan pa kayo magte-tell all?
Yes. After we sent a counter affidavit on the preliminary investigations, Your Honor.
So, maasahan po ba, hindi lang ng komite namin, pero ng pamilya ni Atyo na dun sa affidavit ninyo, you will finally tell all withholding nothing?
Yes, Your Honor, with no holds barred po, Your Honor.
No holds barred. Sabi nyo kanina, hindi nyo ma-confirm kung kayo nga yung popoy dun sa message na pinakita ni Chairman kanina. Bagamat tinawag na rin kayong ganyang palayaw. At si Popoy ay may message mismo na, yung pinakita kanina, applicable dito 3-hour detention rule, di ba? Hindi ako mag-deactivate. Naiwan ako dito sa ospital. Ikaw po ba yung nag-type niyan?
Your Honor, I cannot confirm on that one.
Pero isa lang dun sa nakasakay sa dalawang sasakyang nasa harap ninyo, ang tinulungan kayo, ibaba si Atyo, dun sa ER, kayong dalawa lang yung nakita sa CCTV na nakita ni na Sir Jigs Coronel, pero kayo lang yung nakilala dun sa ER kasi mukhang kayo lang yung naiwan dun. So kayo ba yung nag-type niyang naiwan ako dito sa ospital?
Your Honor, with all due respect po, I should invoke my right to remain silent. So.
Ano naman po yung 3-hour detention rule na nandun sa text na iyon?
Your Honor, with all due respect, I should invoke my right again.
Lastly, ano pong nangyari sa ospital? Since sinabi nyo naman, nandun kayo, nakita kayo sa CCTV ng ER, ano na ang nangyari nung dinala nyo doon si Atyo?
The first time we arrived at the hospital po, Your Honor, we parked at the parking lot. So, I asked the front member on the Black Fortuner if what to do. He told me to bring the Acho to the emergency room. I asked them why me. I don't have any involvement on this one. He still insisted that I should. So that time, we don't have any more time to pass the to who. So I did bring like Acho to in front of the emergency room. So I did what I have to do to bring the body to the emergency room.
So, bakit sa simulang-simula iba yung kiwinento nyo sa mga otoridad? Hanggang sa ngayong gabi naman ay sinasabi nyo yung totoong nangyari.
It's because they were the ones who told me that time to tell that lies.
So collective decision yun ng fraternity, yung unang misleading statements nyo, yung unang cover-up ninyo?
Your Honor, I cannot confirm if it's a collective knowledge of the fraternity, Your Honor.
So sino nag-utos sa inyo na gawin yan?
Your Honor, with all due respect, it's a frat member. It's in my affidavit, Your Honor.
Ngayon po, Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang tanungin ang mga magulang ni Atyo, just reiterating po yung deepest condolences ko po, and for the first time particularly sa mama ni Atyo na fellow scholastican ko sa high school, pagamat younger batch po kayo, ma'am. So ito pong sabi ni Dean Divina, hindi nila naranasan nung sila'y sumapi sa frat. Pero 30 years later, sa kabila ng mga sinimulang pagbabago, ay naranasan ulit ni Mr. Solano. Yung ganito pong mga estilo ng hazing, alam niyo po ba kung alam ni Atyo na maaring mangyari sa kanya ito? Kung sinabi ba ng Aegis Iuris sa kanya na baka yan ang maaring sapitin niyang klase ng initiation or welcome party?
Your Honor, what he told me was there was no more hazing. And he told me that it would be purely academic. And if ever there was, he would be just asked to do some errands, and that was it. But no hazing.
Well, I'm really just so sorry, sir, ma'am, Mr. Chairman, na yung ganyang pangako ng no more hazing, purely academic errands ay iba po talaga ang sinapit. My last question, Mr. Chairman, kay Sir Jigs Coronel, dun po sa police reports, hematoma ang ikinamatay ni Atyo at meron pang observation na may mga patak ng tunaw na wax ng kandila. Pero particularly po yung hematoma, saan po maaring manggaling iyon? Anong klaseng makakadulot ng ganyang klaseng injuries?
Ma'am, can I refer this question to our medical legal officer?
Yes, please.
Who's a better position to answer the question.
Good evening, Your Honor. I'm Police Chief Inspector Mesalin Milagros Ripa Probador, sir.
Please under oath.
Yeah, I know, sir.
Will the ComSec please administer the oath? Please stand up. State your name and position.
I am Police Chief Inspector Mesalin Milagros Ripa Probador, sir, Medical Legal Officer of MPD Crime Laboratory.
Okay, ma'am, do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the Senate investigation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Please proceed, Senator Ontiveros.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ma'am, ano pong klaseng gawain ang makadudulot sa isang tao ng hematoma tulad ng naobserbahan ninyo sa katawan ni Atyo?
Your Honor, yung repetitive po na pagpalo, nagkukos po yun ng pasa.
Kamao ba ang ginamit sa ganyang klaseng injury or iba pang instrument?
Possible po, Your Honor.
Possible na instrument?
Yes, Your Honor.
Possible na paddle or isang katulad ng isang paddle?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. At Ginoong Solano, nais ko lang ulitin yung sinabi sa inyo ni Senator Grace. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I think as co-chair, I will now, with permission of the group, ask some questions, if I may. But first of all, allow me to express our deepest condolences to the parents. We know your pain, and we will try to assuage it by coming out with a better law, with a stronger law that eliminates hazing. And we will certainly try. Let me ask the authorities from UST. Is anybody speaking here for UST? Is that Maria Socorro?
Guanhing, Your Honor.
Guanhing. What's Guanhing?
Guanhing.
Guanhing.
Yes.
When did the authorities in UP find out that there was a death in the caused by an initiation?
Monday morning, Your Honor.
Monday-
It's September 18.
Monday morning. And how did you find out? How did the authorities find out?
Through what I heard from the TV news.
That
Around
issue,
5:30.
that issue personally, were there any other authorities in the university that knew about the death beforehand? I understand somebody knew about it on Sunday.
That I do not have a personal knowledge, Your Honor. But as far as I am concerned,
Did Dean Davina know about it?
Well, it was reported to me by the faculty secretary that he got unconfirmed reports about the death of a neophyte, Mr. Chairman.
What time was that and what day?
Sunday, Sunday, 12 p.m. And then
Midnight Sunday?
No, 12 p.m. Your Honor.
12 p.m. Sorry. Yes.
And then I asked him to,
Noon time.
after mass about 12:15 p.m., Mr. Chairman, and then I asked the secretary to confirm further, get more information, and then around 6 p.m. he said that a neophyte indeed died, Mr. Chairman.
And were you aware that he was a member of your fraternity?
It was part of the report that he's a member of the fraternity. The surname was given, Castillo, but not the complete
He
name.
was not a member. He was still a neophyte, right?
Well, at least a neophyte of the fraternity. And then I asked the secretary to get the full name first thing Monday morning and the address so that we can talk to the parents, Mr. Chairman.
Why did you have to wait, sir, until first hour Monday morning? Don't you think that the parents had the right to know right away?
But Mr. Chairman, we only know the surname but not the complete name. And records are in the office. Sunday offices are closed, Mr. Chairman.
But couldn't you have asked your brothers, being a solitary member of the fraternity, one of the leading lights of the fraternity, couldn't you have asked your brothers that you conducted the initiation and a certain Del Castillo was supposed to have died, may namatay? Couldn't you have asked them?
Well, at that time, Mr. Chairman, it was all unconfirmed. So I asked for further information, for the details. But,
I don't mean to argue with you, but
yes, Mr. Chairman.
I mean, I would, especially in your stature, try to find out and confirm from your brad. Sino yung namatay? Nag-initiation ba kayo? May namatay ba? Sino yung namatay? May Castillo namatay. Sino yun? Di ba dapat tinanong natin yun?
Well, as I said, I relied on the report of the secretary, that the secretary, and to get the full name, Mr. Chairman.
So at that time, you just
That's about 6 p.m., Mr. Chairman. And then the following morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, it's all over the papers. And as I said, I called the council right away and asked the head of our, let's call it Social Welfare Development Board, to conduct the investigation.
Well, for the sake of the parents who didn't have made a difference, na nalaman natin nung gabi kagad at tinawagan nyo na kagad yung mga brads ninyo para masabihan naman yung mga magulang alang-alang sa
Really, I was able to talk to a relative, a former student, and I
When
said,
was that?
I think early Monday morning, Mr. Chairman.
Early Monday. So, I would say it was an oversight on your part.
I think I did what
Because
what
you
was
knew
expected.
Sunday at 6 o'clock, alam nyo Sunday 6 o'clock, may Castillo na namatay. At kung tinawagan nyo lang siguro, dapat nasabi sa inyo ng mga brads na yun na nga. And being a solitary member of the fraternity and certainly a leading lawyer in this country, I'm sure you would have done the right thing, which is to call the authorities in UST because you know you're a lawyer na pwedeng mademanda ang UST dahil alam nyo na at tinawagan nyo na rin ang mga magulang. Hindi po ba dapat ganun ang ginawa?
I think, Mr. Chairman, I said we needed to get the complete name and the address because I really want to talk to the parents of Acho right away, but obviously it cannot be done unless I know the complete name and the address, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I will take your word for it, but I would have done differently. But then you and I are two different persons. And that doesn't have to be said. Having said that, I will go to John. John, is it? John Solano, and you're called Popoy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Popoy, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Popoy, you're 27 years old. And you're a member of the fraternity, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were, what is your batch?
It's 2015 batch.
Palagi mo sinasabi, inutusan ka lang na huwag ka magsalita. Dahil ba ikaw ay junior Brad? Kaya ka sumusunod,
Your
junior
Honor,
Brad.
Your Honor, I cannot confirm on that because my nature of I'm an impulsive guy.
I don't care if you're an impulsive guy. I'm looking into your soul. Because the fraternity has a tendency to drag a weak soul. Pakinggan mo yung sinasabi ko, kung mahina ang iyong sentido, ang iyong kaluluwa, sunod-sunuran ka, kaladkarin ka, susunod ka sa mga senior sa iyo sa fraternity. Tama?
Your Honor, since a child, I'm very helpful towards others. So maybe that time my
I'm glad you
helpfulness
said
would.
that. You're very helpful.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
And did you think bringing him to the hospital that is far away in Chinese General was helpful rather than bring him to UST? Did you think na nakakatulong ka sa kapwa mo? Bata ka pa kamo, matulungin ka na?
Your
Dapat
Honor,
dinala mo dapat doon sa malapit na hospital? Di ba yun ang talagang dapat na tulong na binigay mo?
Your
Yes or no?
Honor, so if it's yes or no, it's a no, Your Honor.
No. So you were not helpful.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were not being helpful. You were just blindly following.
Yes, Your Honor.
Blindly following your elders in the fraternity, your seniors, right?
Yes, Your Honor. That time.
Good. You already have practically discarded your right against self-incrimination because you incriminated yourself already.
No, Your Honor.
Well, yeah, that is the argument of your lawyer. But as far as a fellow lawyer, I would say it was your duty to your Brad to save his life. Inutusan ka na dalhin sa ospital. Ikaw ay medical technologist. Meron ka kahit na paano some understanding kung merong damage ang katawan ng tao. Tama po ba yan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kung alalaman mo na bugbog sarado yung tao, at alam mo, mas malapit yung UST, practically across the street from Dapitan, huwag kang tumingin sa abogado mo. Pakinggan mo yung tanong ko.
Yes, sir. Sorry, Your Honor.
Ikaw, malapit ka sa UST, dadalhin mo sa malayo. Gaano kalayo ang Chinese General? Kahit na linggo, may traffic.
I'm not sure about the distance, Your Honor.
Well, try to find out. I think you look smart enough. Don't pretend here. You're a graduate of one of the oldest institutions in the world. In the world! And I respect it. I'm a Dominican student myself, only San Juan de Letran. Kami ni Senator Soto. Gaano kalayo?
It's more or less 20 to 30 minutes travel, Your Honor.
20 to 30 minutes, assuming you're correct. Gaano kalayo ang UST hospital doon sa pinangyarihan? 5 minutes?
Depending on the traffic on Lacson Avenue,
Now you
Your
talk
Honor.
about traffic. Okay.
It's definitely shorter, Your Honor.
Shorter. Okay, mga 5 minutes.
More or less 5 to 10 minutes, Your Honor.
And as you know, being a medtech, alam mo, bumibilang ka ng segundo. Dapat gagawa mo na siguro kahit na paano ng CPR.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ginawa mo ba ng CPR?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kailan mo napuntahan yung tao? Tao yung kinuha mo di ba? Tao.
Your Honor,
May pangalan.
the one who called me told me to go to the frat library. That's when I administered CPR.
May I ask the medical legal, can you estimate the time of death of Horacio?
Your Honor, I cannot estimate the time of death because when I examined the victim, he was already embalmed, Your Honor.
He was embalmed right away.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was that by order of the family?
No, Your Honor.
Who had him embalmed then?
The funeral parlor, Your Honor.
Sino nagdala sa kanya sa funeral parlor? Alam na ba ng pamilya by that time?
Sorry. Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, John. You're a
at the time,
graduate of the UP College of Law, aren't you?
yes, Your Honor.
And you're not a member of the fraternity.
I'm a member of a fraternity, Your Honor.
Which one? Alpha Sigma?
The Alpha Phi Beta fraternity, Your Honor.
Alpha Phi Beta?
Yes,
all right.
Yes, Your Honor.
I will not ask you whether you underwent initiation.
Yes, Your Honor. At the time that the remains of Horacio Castillo was brought to the Archangel funeral parlor, he was still unidentified, Your Honor. The Chinese General Hospital at the time has no idea as to the identity of the remains. So, as a matter of their procedure, they referred it to the funeral parlor. And
So when
where
they
it is-
referred them, do you think that the funeral parlor had the right to embalm them knowing that he could be a victim of foul play, of violence, para malaman ang time of death? Tatawag ka lang ng medical legal, malalaman mo anong kinain ng pasyente, kailan kinain, anong nangyari, anong oras. Di ba? Alam mo yan because you're UP.
Yes, Your Honor.
Di ba?
Yes, Your Honor. I think we'll have to investigate.
So nagkamali yung nag-embalsama.
Yes, sir. There may have been a lapse on that particular regard, Your Honor. To the yes, sir. It have affected the post-mortem or autopsy.
Going back to John, the helpful man. Ang lapit-lapit ng ospital, tinakbo mo sa Chinese general. Ano mo kaya sinabi kong you have already incriminated yourself because sumama ka na sa isang conspiracy na ilayo sa UST para hindi kayo mabisto ng mga otoridad. Pwede ko ba sabihin yun?
Your Honor, with all due respect, I should invoke my right to remain silent.
No more. You've already incriminated yourself. You have no more right on that point. You have to answer now.
Your Honor, with all due respect po, I
No,
would
you're not respecting this committee. You followed. Who did you follow?
Your Honor, with that particular
You already
name,
said, yung mga kasama mo,
it's
you
a
followed
frat
them.
member. Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
In fact, kinuha mo, dalawang auto, kasama ka, isang Prado na pula.
Strada, Your Honor. Mitsubishi Strada.
Sorry, hindi ako marunong sa kotse. 1965 pa yung alam kong kotse. Strada at saka Fortuner. Alam ko yung Fortuner. Black Fortuner, correct?
It's a black Fortuner po, Your Honor.
So, alam mo kung sino yung mga kasama mo dun sa loob, right?
Yung nasa loob po ng sasakyan, Your Honor.
Sapagkat nakita, di ba, Joel, nakita, General, nakita yung mga tao sa loob ng Fortuner, di ba?
Yes, sir. The people.
Nakilala
there
na
were-
yun, di ba?
Yes, sir. We have identified.
Alright. So, they are already participants in a murder.
At the time of where it was reported to us, yes, it was treated a
Now,
murder
would you
case.
say, as a seasoned policeman, magaling kang police, kaya ka naging general kahit na batang-bata ka, hindi lang dahil nag-aaral ka sa UP. Ikaw ay dinala yung tao sa hospital na nilayo sa UST. Ano ang rason kung bakit nila ilalayo malapit sa UST? Para pagtakpan ang nangyaring pagkamatay ng isang tao pagkabugbog. Hindi pa natin alam kung patay na talaga yun.
Yes, sir. Apparently, there was foul play in the death of the victim.
At because sinabi pa, nakita sa balot, tondo, another sign na tinatago nila. Tama o hindi?
Yes, you're correct, Your Honor.
So lahat yan, indication ng murder. Anong ginawa ng dalawang auto nung dinala doon? Sumibat na sila pagkatapos.
After the body of the victim was brought to the Chinese General Hospital premises, they left the vicinity. And then John Paul Solano was the one who was left behind to face...
Ayoko mang-insulto ng fraternity because ako fratman rin ako. Dumaan rin ako sa initiation. Pero hindi ko naman pinagbili yung kaluluwa ko. Na kahit na may senior magsasabi sa akin mali, hindi ko basta susundin yun. Because I will recite to you our credo. I'm an Epsilonian and proud of it. I consider myself an upright, self-respecting man capable of growth and greater service to my fellow man. And marami yan, yung mga values. So, may karapatan ang fratman magsabi, hindi ko susundin yan. Just as a policeman has the right to say, no, I'm not going to kill anybody because I'm being ordered so that I can add to the numbers. Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you will not do that either, would you?
No, I will not do that, Your Honor.
In spite of the many accusations na ginagawa ninyo yan, you would not do that.
We have not done anything of that sort, Your
You have
Honor.
not done anything of that sort. Well, I believe you, so far. So far. But now let me point it now, so far as your experience as an investigator is concerned, or for that matter, you graduated from the Philippine Military Academy, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And under the law, a soldier, a marine, a trainee, officer, or a soldier in the military, they're exempted from this provision of law, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why do you think that is so?
Perhaps of the very nature of their profession, which is a profession of arms, wherein their lives are at stake at particular at any given time that they might be able to, in instances of
They
war.
could be tortured.
Yes, Your Honor.
They must survive pressure.
Yes, Your Honor.
They must stick to their ground, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
But in a fraternity, you don't have to waive your right against self-incrimination when the principle of the fraternity that you choose says that you must be truthful. Is that being taught in your fraternity, Dean?
We're taught the virtue of integrity, godliness,
Godliness. And God tells us to be truthful, correct?
That's right, Mr.
What
Chairman.
else do they teach you in the fraternity?
Well, godliness, integrity, academic excellence, loyalty, Mr. Chairman.
Correct loyalty. Loyalty to principle. Government of laws and not of men. Because you are all budding lawyers, correct?
That's right, Mr. Chairman.
And in your opinion, was this act of this young man here heroic, helpful? In your opinion now, let me ask you. Heroic ba yun? Helpful ba yun?
Well,
Na malapit sa UST, itinakbo pa sa malayong hospital?
well, we could look into the mind of the neophyte.
I
Mr.
know
Chairman.
that, but I'm just asking you for your opinion. You're a dean. You're a maker of men. You train future leaders of the country. In one of the best law schools in the UP, President Diosdado Macapagal got 100% in civil law because he's a graduate of the University of the Philippines. Now I ask you, tama ba yan? Santo Tomas, ano ba sinabi ko? Uy, sorry, force of habit. Sorry.
But I also teach in UP, Mr. Chairman, so that's okay.
That's okay, all right. So, tama ba yan?
Well, I do not know what's into the mind of Mr. Salan at that time, Mr. Chairman.
No, we understand each other, don't we? But as a father, as a teacher, tama ba yan?
But I would go for the speedier route.
You'd go for UST, right? Any time of the day.
I would have gone for UST, Mr. Chairman, yes.
That's correct. You see, young man, there is your senior Brad telling you should have gone to UST. So stop following your senior Brads na ipinapahamak ka, dinadala ka sa slippery slope na pagsisinungalingan ka, teach you to lie, or the fraternity teaches you not to lie. Is that correct, Dean?
We teach integrity and loyalty, Mr. Chairman, therefore truthfulness likewise.
Integrity, loyalty, truthfulness. Pagsabi ng totoo, may dangal ka. Naintindihan mo yan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Meron ka bang integrity ngayon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ano ngayon ang masasabi mo? At tinatanong ko kanina. Sumunod ka dahil matatanda, senior sa iyo, yung mga masasabi sa iyo, correct?
I would invoke my right with all due respect, Your Honor.
Well, I would invoke you to hell if I can. Because napakasama ng ginawa ninyo. Walang fraternity person dito, including the Philippine Military Academy, which is not a fraternity, a Corps of Cadets, or for that matter, UP fraternity, even a UST fraternity, as a beda fraternity, they will not teach you because dapat mataas ang values niyan. Pag sumama ang bata sa isang fraternity na tuturuan siya magsinungaling, may anak ka na ba?
Wala pa po, Your
Pag
Honor.
nagkaroon ka ng anak, if you are successful and if you are, God blesses you, would you tell him to join a fraternity which will teach him to lie?
No, Your Honor.
Good. You've answered my question. but you're still invoking your right against self-incrimination. You still want to protect people in the fraternity that has killed a future Brad. Correct?
No, Your Honor, I am not protecting.
And they have not killed your future Brad, a neophyte.
Your Honor, with all due respect po, no?
Don't you think that this hurts your fraternity? Wala na sasali. Assuming you survive this, may sasali pa kaya sa fraternity nyo ngayon? Nasira-sira na yung prinsipyo?
Your Honor, I cannot confirm on that one.
Of course you cannot, because it seems you have lost your moral compass. Fraternities don't teach the members to lose their moral compass. Is it not correct, Dean? Please answer yes or no.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I agree completely.
Dean Kapili, is that true?
I'm Irvin Fabelero. Yes, Your Honor.
You're a member of the fraternity, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you will swear by any stack of Bibles that your fraternity does not teach your students to lie,
Yes, Your Honor.
your brads to lie,
Yes, Your Honor.
that they will save the life of a neophyte.
Yes, Your Honor.
That is all I have to ask, Your Honor.
Thank you. For the second round, Senator Bamakil.
Just a simple question, Your Honor. Kay Mr. Solano, and maybe with the help of attorney, is that Paterno? No? Attorney Ismakel. May alam ho yung kliyente ninyo, alam ho niya yung mga tao na involved po dito. You're the lawyer here, no? Bakit pang kailangan hintayin bukas or in the next few days? Bakit di na lang niya masabi? Anyway, he's already said that. Will it really affect his situation kung ibigay po niya yung mga pangalan ng mga tao?
Yes, Your Honor, because we have yet to study. We have yet to read.
No, he doesn't have to say kung anong ginawa niya. Sasabihin lang niya, ito yung mga taong kasama ko. I don't understand, and please explain to me how that affects his cases and his situation. Will it matter kung may kwento niya yung mga taong nakita niya?
Yes, definitely it will affect because we have to read what has been alleged in those more or less four complaints.
No, alam naman nating na may kasama siya. Nasabi na niya may kasama siya, may CCTV. Obviously, those vehicles didn't drive themselves. No? So may kasama siyang binuhat yung katawan ni Acho. He's concerned for his case, and that's your right. No? You have that right to be concerned for your case. Ang hindi ko maintindihan, attorney, is bakit ayaw nyo lang isulat sa papel para mahabol na po ng pulis natin yung mga taong ito. How will it affect his case if he tells us tonight and gives it to the police right now?
I will be betraying my obligation to my client if I will do that without first studying the case. Okay?
No, it's
You
not.
will understand.
My question is, does it make him less guilty or more guilty if he just says who the people were?
No.
We already know na may kasama siya.
No,
Alam na ho natin, it's a fact already. Nahuli na po yan ng CCTV. I'm trying to understand, does it make him less guilty or more guilty? Maybe, Dean, can you help me out here? Does it, and I'm happy to be wrong. Does it make him more guilty or less guilty with the cases filed against him kung may bigay niya yung mga pangalan ng mga kasama niya? Does it matter at this point? More or less, alam naman nating nandun siya. May CCTV, inamin na niya as much. How does the case differ? How will it differ if he withholds the names of the people he was with or he gives it up tonight?
Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, I think he has
And please be fair lang. Please be fair to Mr. Solano.
But he has a counsel, Mr. Chairman, so I defer to I have to give it to the counsel of Mr. Solano. I think it's unethical for me to give advice to someone when he's represented by a counsel.
Okay, hypothetically.
I think it may be a circumvention, Mr. Chairman. I think it's unethical for me to give legal advice to someone who has a counsel.
All right. Sige nga, Mr. Attorney Ismakel, could you help us? I understand, no, it's your right. You can, of course, choose to provide it in the judicial affidavit. We cannot force you. But is the guilt or innocence of your client affected by providing the names of the individuals na kasama po niya sa hospital right now? Is it affected?
It really depends on the facts of the case. That's why, Your Honor, I want to study the cases that were filed, Your Honor.
Okay, ako ho, I'm sorry kayo ho dito yung mga abogado. I don't know if any other legal, we're surrounded by legal luminaries here. Baka ho merong, yes, from the DOJ. Will it really affect the innocence or guilt of Mr. Solano kung ibigay ho niya yung mga pangalan?
Your Honor, just for clarification, there has been a constant and repeated assertion about the 4 charges or different complaints that were filed by the complainant. A complainant can file as many charges as they want to, but it is the prosecutor who determines in the first place what specific or particular offense to be filed, and as to whether or not there is probable cause as to each offense. I just want to make that on record, Your Honor, please.
Excuse me, Prosecutor General, with the permission of Senator Lacson. Have you filed the case yet?
Not yet, Your Honor. We will be resolving the case tomorrow.
So there's nothing.
So there is nothing yet.
There's nothing to say that he's been going to incriminate. He's not an accused yet. Is he
Is
an
not
accused
yet,
already?
not yet an accused, Your Honor, please.
Tomorrow, resolve na. Di ba?
Yes, Your Honor, because
walang due
this
process
is
yata.
summary in nature and not a regular PI. As I mentioned earlier, Your Honor, we will go into the regular PI or preliminary investigation wherein the respondent will be given this opportunity to file his counter affidavit or answer. After that, Your Honor, we will resolve the case. And as I mentioned earlier, we will determine as to what offense or offenses to be filed. If there is probable cause, we will file the case in court, Your Honor, and prepare the requisite information. Thank you, Your Honor.
Even, excuse me, I'm not a lawyer, no? Pero yung experience ko sa law enforcement. First, kanina, I would have wanted to make a comment sana do sa sinabi ni Senator Drilon. But with all due respect to him, being a bright lawyer, a bar-top notcher, mukhang yung hindi proper for inquest, yung reason, kasi hindi applicable na yung warrantless arrest. Not by virtue of having surrendered, because ang understanding ko, when he surrendered to my office and I turned him over to the MPD, he was placed under arrest upon turnover. But that's not the issue. Ang alam kong issue, hindi proper for inquest, and this is my view. Simply because hindi na nag-a-apply yung warrantless arrest dahil mahigpit eh. Hindi ba? Has just been committed, actually committing, about to commit, may personal knowledge pa that he has in fact committed the crime, and of course, yung escape convict. Pero mukhang hindi nagpo-fall doon eh.
Opo, Your Honor. In every inquest proceeding, ang una-una pong tinatanong ng inquest prosecutor ay kung mayroong affidavit of arrest or wala. Dito po sa kaso na ito, mayroon pong affidavit of arrest,
Yes,
pero
I
patungkol
understand.
po ito sa obstruction of justice at saka sa perjury. In other words
You
po,
arrested him for another crime, obstruction of justice, not for the violation of anti-hazing law. Ganun ba yun?
I think, sir, our intention was to include all 4 charges. It may have been an oversight or inadvertence on the part of the arresting officer in his affidavit. But during last Friday,
Yeah.
when subject Solano appeared before your office, he
Yes.
was fully aware that he's going to be placed under arrest and that we're going to bring charges against him before the office of the Prosecutor General as coordinated prior with that office.
Yeah. Kaya nga, upon turnover, you placed him under arrest.
Yes, sir.
So effectively,
Thank you, sir.
he is under arrest.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
yes, Your Honor, but if I may,
Yeah.
sabi ko nga po kanina, ang una-una pong hinahanap ng prosecutor ay yung pong affidavit of arrest. Patungkol po dito sa
And who
violation ng
executed the
anti-hazing.
affidavit of arrest?
We have an affidavit of arrest, Your Honor.
Yung kasama mong officer noon?
Yes, sir. The officers present with me at the time when the
Yeah,
subject
right.
surrendered to you. During at the height of our manhunt operations,
Yeah, but
the doctrine of hot pursuit still exists at the time.
PG, kindly educate me again. Kasi proper for inquest ba? Nagpo-fall pa ba sa citizen's arrest yung kaso,
Kagaya
yung
po ng
situation niya?
nasabi ko kanina at sinabi po ni Senator Drilon.
Kasi if I were still with the law enforcement, baka hindi ko pa inquest yan.
Precisely, Your Honor. That was our statement a while ago.
No. A preliminary investigation is okay. But regular filing,
Yes, Your
Meaning
Honor.
direct
We
filing.
will make a direct filing. In other words, Your Honor, we will conduct the requisite preliminary investigation wherein the respondent will be given
So you
his
will
day in court.
determine
In
if he will be
NBI.
released for further investigation or he will be admitted in an inquest proceeding. Ganun ba? Hindi nyo pa na-determine yun.
Wala pa po. At
Okay.
i-resolve pa po
Sige.
namin bukas.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Senator.
Anyway, Senator Lacson, if I'm not mistaken, we will be having another hearing. And hopefully by that time, Attorney Ismael has read all of the charges or if there are charges against his client. And at that time, hopefully, and soon, we will be able to find out kung sino po talaga yung mga kasama ho ninyo, Mr. Solano, nung dinala niyo po yung katawan ni Acho sa Chinese General Hospital. Hopefully, we'll be able to know by then. Because nakakabahala lang po na meron na pong isang suspect at ito po'y mula dun sa pagkakaalam ng pagmamayari ng kotse, yung anak ng may-ari ho ng kotse, wala na po dito. Is that correct, General?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, so, kumbaga po, habang nagtatagal tayo, habang iniimbestiga pa ng PNP po, yung mga telepono ng mga iba't ibang mga alumni, alam mo naman eh. So, we're hoping that you can provide this information as soon as you can. Just so that, yung hinihingi pong hustisya ng mga Castillo ay makukuha po nila. Na yung hinihingi po nila, lahat ng involved po dito, makulong. No? And that's basically is that correct, Mr. Castillo? Yun na po yung hinihingi po ninyo.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that can be supported if you can provide what you know. Mr. Solano, can you listen to me, please? Mr. Solano? That can be, makukuha po nila yung hustisya kung may bibigay niyo po yung impormasyon as soon as possible. No? At naiintindihan ko po yung concern ninyo sa mga charges, naiintindihan ko po na meron kayong mga karapatan, pero again, no, the sooner that you're able to provide this, the sooner our PNP can find them, and the sooner the Castillos will find justice. Kaya it's already an appeal mula po dito sa aming komite. Anyway, nandito ho kayo, you voluntarily surrendered. Kung pwede po, wag yun na pong hintayin ang bukas. Sana ho, by later or by tomorrow, maibigay nyo na po yan sa PNP para mahanap na po nila yung mga taong involved po dito. Mr. Chairman, maraming salamat.
Very quickly, Mr. Solano, did I hear you correctly na pinick up mo si Acho do sa Pratt Live?
Doon po pinapuntahan sa akin, Your Honor.
Sa Pratt Live?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Anong pangalan ng Pratt Live?
It's the Aegis Juris Law Resource po.
Center?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yung sa Regis Juris Foundation, Incorporated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pareho? Alam mo ba kung sino mga incorporators doon?
No, Your Honor. Not
Well,
on my knowledge.
I have here the certificate of incorporation, ano? Aegis Juris Foundation. There are two familiar names here. 2002 pa ito. I don't know. Kasi wala naman GIS eh. We got this from the SEG. Number 5, Nilo T. Divina. And then, Arthur Capili. Andito kanina si Attorney Capili, di ba? So you admit that you're one of the incorporators of the Aegis Juris Foundation, Incorporated? Attorney Divina?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chairman. It's a foundation.
Yun yung address ng yung lugar ng ano, yung pangalan ng Frat Live, di ba?
But
No, they're incorporators.
But I do not know if it is owned by the foundation. Your Honor. I mean,
It is.
I don't think we have contributed money to buy that property.
Well, at least andito sa Certificate of Incorporation.
Yes, we are incorporated, Mr. Chairman.
At ang Frat Live naman dito sa ano is yun ang address, Regis Juris Law Resource Center, Aegis Juris Foundation Incorporated. Anyway, just for the record. Senator Subiri.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jepoy? Popoy?
John
Popoy.
Popoy po, Your Honor.
Yeah, Popoy. Popoy, do you believe that the truth shall set you free?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe so too. And I can see in your heart that you really want to tell the truth. Kasi mabigat na naman kung inutusan ka, hindi ka naman most guilty, tapos all the weight is in your shoulders now. And it's very difficult. The longer you hide the truth, Maraming pwede mangyari between now till tomorrow till next week at hindi po makakamit ng hustisya ang pamilya Castillo. Are you willing? Are you willing in executive session? You know where we are bounded by rules in executive session. To tell us the information that you know after this committee hearing.
Yes. Yes, Your
Thank
Honor.
you. Therefore, after this committee hearing, we move for executive session, Mr. Chair. But before, and I thank Popoy for that. Popoy, I thank you very much for your honesty and truthfulness, especially after this hearing. We appreciate
Just
that.
to clarify,
Yes,
Senator
Your Honor.
Zubiri, we will only invite John Paul Solano and Attorney Esmaquel. Kayo
Yes.
lang dalawa po yung... Is that correct?
Yes, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Thank you.
Natatakot ako pag nandyan pa yung prosecution service, baka hindi pa magbigay ng katotohanan.
Ay, ba-
So pasensya na lang, Prosecutor General, no?
I have an inquiry, Mr. Chair. Of course, I support Senator Zubiri's call for an executive session. Pero yung malaman ho natin doon, pwede ho
That
ba nating...
will form part of the record of the committee, but we are bound by the rules on executive session.
So we cannot share that to the police?
We cannot. Share.
Okay, so I support the executive session para mailabas na yung katotohanan at least tonight. Pero but the judicial affidavit still needs to come right away because that's the only one usable by the police. Is that correct, Chief General Colonel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Opo. So, yes, please talk to us tonight. But
Yes, Your
yung
Honor.
panawagan natin to have the affidavit by tomorrow is still what the police need para mahabol nila yung mga taong involved dito.
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. Thank you.
Thank you. And just two more questions to two agencies. The Commission on Human Rights, we invited them here. I believe who's representing? Attorney Gemma, Attorney Diana.
Attorney Gemma Parohino.
Attorney Gemma Parinog, are you with the? Are you from Osamin? Ito talagang chairman ko. Anyway, whether you're related or not does not matter. As long as you're representing the agency, you're representing the Commission on Human Rights. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you been
Together with-
placed under oath this
Yes, Your
hearing?
Honor.
Okay. I would like to know the position of the Commission on Human Rights on this particular case of hazing and the other cases. There's so many dozens of useless deaths involving students, children, young adults on hazing. I feel that the silence from the Commission of Human Rights is quite deafening. I haven't heard a statement from the Commission. Do you have a prepared statement? Is there a statement, an official statement by the Commission on Human Rights? These children have rights. Now, the families of these children also have rights from this type of abuse. Would I get a statement now or a message or a answer from Attorney Gemma?
Actually, sir, with respect to the statement, we're not yet sure because there's a different unit that issues that. They are in communication with our commission and bank. But with respect to cases that happened before on hazing, there is actually a 2015 resolution of the 4th Commission as early as then, enumerating all the cases of hazing which the Commission has took cognizance of. And we have already issued this resolution condemning the acts of hazing already. I have a copy of the resolution here. Sir.
On this particular case of Mr. Castillo, have you reached out to the family to offer any support?
I will have to refer that to Attorney Diana as head of NCR office.
Good evening, Your Honor, Mr. Chair. Sir, as early as September 18, I already directed our investigators to immediately conduct an investigation on this case, Your Honor.
But have you approached the family?
Yes, Your Honor. At the time when they were at the funeral parlor, our investigators came there late at night just to talk to the family of the victim, Your Honor.
Can this be confirmed by the family, Tito or Mini?
What we can say is somebody went there early morning, but we could not confirm if they were from CHR. It was still confusing then, Your Honor, at that time.
So, Attorney De Leon.
The investigator who came and talked to Miss Castillo, Your Honor, is here. Maybe the mother of the victim can identify him.
Yes, who was the gentleman who...
Mr. Jolly Torres, who's the guy behind me, sir.
Yes. So you did visit the family?
Please speak into the mic.
Yes, Your Honor. As early as September 18, I went to the funeral homes, Arcangel, which is located at Vicente Cruz, Sampaloc, Manila. As I was approaching home, I noticed that the streets in Sobriedad or Firmeza was closed. So I presume that the families or the parents were still there, and a lot of media organizations are still covering the incident. I understand that was the time that the body of the victim was still under processing. So I had the opportunity to talk to the parents of Acho, Your Honor.
When you say talk, what was, is that part of the investigation? Did you offer assistance? Did you offer legal assistance? What is the process involved with cases like this, Attorney De Leon?
Sir, we would like to know whether or not human rights violations were committed and who are the duty bearers that may have been responsible for the commission of such offense, Your Honor.
Attorney, candle wax, cigarette butt or cigarette, ano ba tawag dyan? Yung burns, and massive hematoma. Would that be construed as torture of a victim?
Yes, sir. This is actually a form of violence, particularly the right of a person to be free from any cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment, Your Honor. So that would come under that violation, Your Honor. And also, since this resulted in the death of the victim, obviously there was arbitrary deprivation of life, which is a violation also of the Constitution and laws, as well as international laws to which the Philippines is a signatory. And this is also a grave violation of the right to dignity of a person, Your Honor.
Senator Subiri, so clarification lang, kahit hindi perpetrated ng state agent, you can acquire jurisdiction, you can investigate?
Actually, sir, what made us decide to take cognizance of the case is that the victim, Your Honor, is a youth, and under our mandate, Your Honor, we also investigate violations committed against the vulnerable sectors, which include the youth, Your Honor.
Not necessarily perpetrated by state agents?
Not necessarily,
Okay,
Your Honor.
thank you for
But
the
I would like to add, Your Honor, that we are also looking into the school being a duty bearer. We would like to further probe on whether or not there had been mechanisms established, or whether, if there is, or whether or not these mechanisms are sufficient that could have prevented this incident, Your Honor.
Senator Mix, may I just ask on that point? Pag sinabi niyo pong duty bearer, anong ibig sabihin nun?
Meaning your duty bearers are those who
Are in power?
Yes, Your Honor, or those who are institutions that have been delegated by law, in this case the anti-hazing law, to protect.
Okay, because just to follow up Senator
the rights
Lacson's
there.
question, and I know we're deviating already. Ang alam ko rin kasi state agents ang iniimbestiga ninyo, but you're saying it's state agents and duty bearers, meaning any institution in power, if they fail or they perpetrate crimes against less powerful or more vulnerable than them, then you can investigate it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, in a way, yes, Your Honor. Meaning those delegated by law to protect the rights of
All right. And
the
in this
individual.
case, they are duty bearers because of the Anti-Hazing Act.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Sige.
So what would be the next what would be the next step for the CHR? What would be the next course of action? Will you be enjoining the PNP into filing cases, or will there be a recommendation of such?
Yes, Your Honor. Once we are done with our we're still conducting the investigations, Your Honor. And once we're done with it, we would come up with recommendations, either the filing of appropriate criminal or administrative charges. And also, we would be coming with recommendations to the concerned agencies or proper institutions such as educational institutions, Your Honor.
Thank you. And my last question, Mr. Chairman, would be with the Commission on Higher Education. I believe there's a CHED representative, the executive director. Before we give you your 25 to 30 billion increase of budget, you know, I asked this last Thursday. You were present in the budget hearing last Thursday of the Commission on Higher Education. I was wondering why the Commission on Higher Education was silent on this particular case. As a matter of fact, nagulat ma si Ma'am Patty Licuanan when I brought this up, when what had happened was a death of one of your own. He's a constituent of the Commission on Higher Education. He's a college student. And so many deaths have happened in the past already. And we'd like to see more proactive approach of the Commission on Higher Education in disciplining universities and colleges who condone with these organizations, registered organizations, that do these illegal activities. I believe you have a statement today, is that correct?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator Subiri. Actually, we will be preparing our position paper or comment on the matter. But early on, when we heard the incident, we already issued a statement, Your Honor, condemning in the strongest possible terms what happened and asking the authorities, school authorities, to shed light and cooperate with the police authorities so that the perpetrators will be brought to the bar of justice. We also directed our regional offices, Your Honor, because we have a regulation on this, to conduct not only in the NCR area, but in the different regions to do their usual monitoring, especially at these times. Because we have been faced with this situation before, but as you know, CHED doesn't have the requisite police power, and we are not capable to conduct criminal investigation of this nature. So when the authorities, police authorities, already took jurisdiction, then what we've done is to also call upon the school authorities, as we have done in the past. No? But again, having said that, Your Honors, we are one. The CHED, the Commission on Higher Education, is one with the authors of the different bills in strengthening the law, and we would like to associate ourselves with the authors when they call for the, you yourself, the banning and the prohibition outright of the practice of hazing and violent initiation rights. Because there is really a gaping loophole in the law, and this is something that at this point should be addressed. We believe the law can be strengthened by first banning these violent hazings and physical and violent initiation rights, and then of course maybe updating the penalties, and of course removing already the tacit recognition of hazing as indicated in Section 2 of the present law. And towards a more proactive action, Your Honors, we also would like incorporated in the law a process of registration or recognition so that fraternities in the country will not remain to be underground, because there are many fraternities that are like that, primarily because they don't want really to be transparent, and in the process it is hard to police them. I myself is a member of a fraternity in the University of the Philippines, and this is the problem that we have faced. Although in the UP, we have an interfraternity council, an IFC system that gathers the different fraternities, almost 22 of them. And this is something that perhaps the law could look into. Because this is now the 21st century, and I was part of the process also of building the Interfaith Council, and Senator Joey Lina here, when he was still a congressman, I believe, we've been working with the UP before. And incidentally, my fraternity is in the College of Engineering, by the way, although I finished law in the UP. And of course, Your Honor, our Manual of Regulations for Private Higher Education Institutions, or the MORFE of 2008, carries also steep penalties. In this case, when there is hazing, either the guilty parties can be excluded in the institutions, or they are dropped in the rolls, or expelled, so that they can never be admitted in any higher education institution in the country.
Thank you, Attorney. And yeah, I've just the last question so that Senator Gatchalian can follow up. Have there been any penalties so far? I mean, you have Servando killing from CSB, you have the killing of several other victims of hazing. Have there been, since 1995, penalties given to or meted out to schools and universities in violation of the anti-hazing law and your circulars? Ever? Because this is important to note.
On the part of the institution, it would be very hard to penalize them, because invariably they are not notified, Your Honors, because the requirement of the law is that they should be part of the process. If they are not notified, they don't know anything about it, then they can escape liability. Because, as we know, hazing and these initiation rights, they do not, notify the schools. That is a fact, and the schools are the first one to be surprised if something like this happens. So I think the law, the amendatory laws should address this, Your Honor.
But would it be safe to say that if an incident like this happens under their watch, at the least that the university can do is expel the organization, not just the members?
They can suspend the organization. It's happened in the past. A lot of them have gone underground. They can expel or exclude, at the administrative level, the parties, those who have been, charged, Your Honor. So there is an administrative level under the MORFE, and there is, of course, the criminal and civil liabilities that could attach.
Thank you, Attorney. Thank you, Chairman. And just to reiterate to Mr. Solano, again, the truth shall set you free, and I will await your testimony in executive session. Thank you.
Senator Gatchalian.
Mr. Chair, just a follow-up, and since part of our topic today is really to discuss the proposals to amend the law, to the members of CHR, narinig ko kanina na since 2015 you've been condemning this type of act. No? Meron ba kayong suggestion as to how to prevent this type of occurrence in the future? Meron ba kayong suggestion on what to amend, how to strengthen the law, and how to prevent hazing in the future? Since you've been observing, probably investigating, do you have any conclusion as to how to prevent hazing in our schools, in our communities?
Sir, we welcome the amendment to the current law on hazing, given that statistics would show that we can say that it might not be as effective as we would want it. But going back, sir, if with your permission, I have here the statement of the Commission on Human Rights with respect to the incident. May I please be allowed to read it? It's just a 3-paragraph statement. Mr. Chair, all right. Kinokondena ng CHR anumang uri ng pagkamatay na dulot ng hazing. Bagamat kinikilala natin ang karapatan ng isang individual na maging kabahagi ng isang asosasyon, hindi ito dapat maging dahilan ng pang-aabuso, lalong-lalo na ang kamatayan. Bilang NHRI, may pagtugon ang serbisyo ng CHR sa mga biktimang kabahagi ng vulnerable sector. Mga taong mas madalas maging biktima ng pang-aabuso gaya ng kababaihan, kabataan, estudyante, mga may kapansanan, katutubo at iba pa. Gayon din, pinapaalalahanan ng CHR ang mga akademikong institusyon na gumagawa ng mga mekanismo upang maiwasan ang ganitong kaso ng hazing at upang mapanagot ang mga may sala alinsunod sa anti-hazing law. Yes, the Commission on Human Rights has already commenced an investigation into the hazing of the UST student, especially considering that he belongs to the youth sector, a vulnerable group that we should all protect. So this was issued by the Commission on Human Rights as early as September 20. And is this available online already in our Facebook page?
Attorney, I really commend the CHR for coming out with that condemnation. But to move forward, now going back to my query, how do we move forward? What are your suggestions? What are your observations? How do we, again, how do we prevent hazing from happening in our communities and in our schools? Do you have specific recommendations as to what to do?
Based on our services given already, sir, we have already commenced with the investigation of the case, and aside from that, we also will be submitting our position paper with respect to the bills that are filed here in the Senate, sir.
So, sir, can I just remind the government agencies here with us right now, CHED, CHR, and probably the PNP, to submit to us their recommendations, no? Because this is a dual agenda. No? We are actually investigating as well as talking about the proposals to strengthen the law. So we would really appreciate from the respective government agencies to submit to us
Not
their
just
position paper.
from the representatives of government agencies, but from the other resource persons as well, including Senator Joey.
I may not be able to attend future hearings, Mr. Chairman, because of some family emergencies too. My main concern is that I've been hearing the word repeal. Repeal means revoke, annul. And revoking or annulling a penal law is fraught with a lot of dangers.
I think
no?
those who mentioned repeal actually meant amend.
Well, I'm very happy that that is the direction, because there are two already serving sentence under the anti-hazing law. There are 300 suspects at large, according to the Philippine National Police. If the law is revoked or annulled, what will be the case? They'll go scot-free. And there are pending cases now in court which will be affected by a move to scrap the law altogether. So I'm just, that's my concern. Lastly, nothing is permanent and no law is written in stone. I totally agree with that, that as time goes by, there will be situations that will arise that have not been covered by the law. I mean, it's but natural, but we can be guided by the recent Supreme Court
Anyway,
decision.
Senator Joey, when the committee drops the substitute bill, the committee report, then we'll make sure that your law will not be repealed.
Well, thank you very much. Amendment will be, I think, will
yes.
be appropriate.
Well taken, well taken. So with that, we will suspend this hearing until further notice, and except for John Paul Solano and of course the lawyer, then everybody's excused. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat sa inyong mga contributions sa ating pagdinig.
Love.